And it's time now to sit back and enjoy our second commentary of the day. It's St Mirren against Celtic with Steve McGinn, Pat Bonner and Liam McLeod.
The sun setting on Paisley as St Mirren and Celtic prepare to go head-to-head here in Renfrewshire in the 5:30 kick-off. The latest in another blockbuster weekend of SPFL action. The third meeting between these clubs this season. Celtic have won both so far, 3-0. The first was here at the end of August with McGregor scoring inside 3 minutes. Hatate and Johnston scored as well, either side of the break. Then they met at the start of January with Celtic repeating the scoreline in Glasgow. Kuhn scored one in each half, with Trusty making it 2-0 just before the break. And Celtic have had little trouble dealing with St Mirren since that incredible 4-0 Saints win here in 2010 that cost Tony Mowbray the Celtic job. They've played in the league 33 times, just 2 defeats for Celtic, though Stephen Robinson did mastermind one of those a couple of seasons ago against Ange Postecoglou's team. One change for both, in case you missed the starting 11s earlier. Olasanya, the top scorer, comes in for Ayunga for the home side. Hemming in goal, Fraser, Gogic, Taylor, Alibayusu and John White, Phillips, Boyd, Muntz, O'Hara, Olasanya and Mandron. Ida is in for Jota for Celtic, Schmeichel in goal, Johnston, Carter, Vickers, Trusty and Schlupp, Engels, McGregor, Hatate, Kuhn and Maida and Ida. Before kick-off there will be a minute's applause here in Paisley. Former St Mirren player Cammy Murray, who sadly passed away recently, is a Hall of Famer here at the club. 417 appearances. He was part of the side that won the second division title in 1967-68, and he will be remembered here by the St Mirren supporters. The players lined up along the centre circle on either side of the halfway line here, and the St Mirren fans in particular will be able to pay tribute to Cammy Murray. Between 1962 and 1967. As you can hear calling the PA announcer, just going through Cammy Murray's career that he had here. That is quite an achievement, over 400 games for one club. Of course, we've seen Callum McGregor and James Tavernier both go over the 500 mark recently. That does happen, doesn't happen often. Cammy Murray remembered here in Paisley. Whistle from referee Matthew McDermott signals the end of that minute's applause, and we are just about ready to go here. Celtic got back to winning ways on Wednesday night with their 5-1 home win over Aberdeen after drawing in Munich and losing in Edinburgh 6 days ago. They're in their huddle just now off to the right, and they're closing in now on that league title. Could be as few as 4 wins away from retaining it, and it would happen before the split. 1 win in 5 for St Mirren, that was at Ibrox last Saturday. Just 3 wins in their last 11 outings. They haven't won here since beating Rangers on Boxing Day. 5 without a win inside their own stadium. And the referee just about to get proceedings underway. And the first touch from Killian Phillips. The St Mirren kick-off, left to right in the black and white stripes. Black shorts, black socks. Celtic in the green and white groups will go right to left. The away support in behind Kasper Schmeichel's goal off to our right. We're right at the back of the main stand. Really good conditions for the game, even if the pitch is bearing the scars of a harsh winter, as Gogic knocks it forward into the Celtic half, straight to McGregor, who'll be looking to get himself in the score sheet again here in Paisley, having done so earlier this season. He's enjoying his finest goal-scoring season in several years now. but it's St Mirren on the ball, and Alisanya gets in behind Trusty. Interesting to see if he's on or off. Alisanya shoots, blocked, up goes the flag, and that will be a free kick to Celtic. But still a little warning, because Toyosi Olisanya's pace can cause absolute carnage.
Yeah, it was a good give and go, actually. Nice setup, and then as soon as that ball was laid back, I think it was a Taylor or the left back, right away he was on his bike. Just went a little bit early, but he's got that pace.
That is the ball for St Mirren, though. Gogic passed up the opportunity to do it the minute before, but that is the ball for St Mirren, with Celtic going so aggressive. It took man for man.
Look at this from Marcus Fraser, driving down the right-hand side. He's beaten a couple of Celtic players. He's got it right down by the corner flag. Nice skill from the former Celtic youngster. Back up the line to Phillips, gets the early ball in, and the effort from Mandron goes over the bar. It's been in good goal scoring for Mandron. Scored at Ibrox, scored at Tynecastle, swung the leg at that one. It goes over the bar into the Celtic fans. Goal kick to the visitors, but Stephen, it's been an excellent start by St Mirren.
Yeah, really positive. As you said, the last time Celtic came here, they lost a goal after 3 minutes, spending the first couple of minutes in Celtic's half. It's a great start, and as I said, playing the two strikers, it gives you that opportunity to put balls in the box, and Mandron's on great form.
And he's a danger up there with Olisanya this evening. Celtic have it in the midfield with Ida, just rolls it to his right for Johnston, who skips across the halfway line. He's going through the gears, rolls it side foot down the right-hand side of the St Mirren box for Kuhn, trying to get out the better of Richard Taylor. Does so, but the clearance is made by Boyd Muntz, out for a throw into Celtic over on the far side, about level with the St Mirren 18-yard line, in front of what was the old North Bank at Love Street, over on the far side opposite the main stand. That's bowled down the right-hand touchline there for Arne Engels, and cleared down the left there by the Welshman Declan John, and out to play for a throw into Celtic as they try and keep St Mirren hemmed in. The first time in the game, almost 3 minutes old, no goals as yet, but this is when Celtic scored last time they were here. At this precise moment, it's Johnston down the right, looking to get back onto the overlap there, looking to win the corner, which he does, and it's blocked, but it will be a Celtic corner over on the far side.
Yeah, it's important when you get a throw in down in those particular areas, you've got to try to get something out of it. I see too many throw-ins and it's almost given away. That's a great opportunity to work something, and to work the corner in this occasion.
Will be taken by Engels, an out swinger with the right foot from the far side, the Celtic right. It's a low one right along the byline. It's touched back by Johnston, looking for Maida. St Mirren clear. Comes back to Engels, and it comes, and it's beaten away by the fists of Zach Hemming on his 6-yard line. He was being fouled as well. Saints have a free kick. 0-0.
It's brilliant from Hemming. I played with him at Kilmarnock, and it's one of his big strengths. He comes for crosses, and St Mirren have lost a lot of goals from set pieces. For being such a well organised big side, they lost a lot of goals from set pieces in the first half of the season. Getting Zach Hemming back, he'll fix that, because he's brilliant at it and he's brave and he'll come for things.
Yeah, and it was a difficult ball because it was bent in and it was dipping down in front of him, and he had to get his 2 fists on it and used his body strength also, albeit that he was, I think it was up against Carter Vickers, was it? He was just nailed, but did very well on that occasion, the goalkeeper.
Celtic have it with Jeffrey Schlupp, who's just to the left of the centre circle in his own half. Low ball out to Maida on this near side. Ball in fields, cut out by Boyd Muntz, who releases Olisanya down the right-hand side. Trusty comes to meet him. Olisanya fancies his chances, going to try and get to the byline. It's forced back the way, checking his run and rolling it back to Alabayusu, who's, as Stephen was mentioning there, our ex-Kilmarnock players. Alabayusu was there for a spell on loan from Arsenal. It's worked back to Marcus Fraser into the box for Olisanya, whose shirt is being dragged up his back there, but the decision goes Celtic's way. Goal kick, I think, is what's been given eventually, and Olisanya fixing his footwear out as well, as he battled with Austin Trusty inside the Celtic penalty area.
Yeah, I think he's got a blow to the body, actually, was it? And that's why he's gone down, but I think he's okay. He's just jogging back into his position, maybe a little bit winded. It's a good battle between himself and Trusty on that occasion.
Yeah, his movement's been really good. He's going to the side with the ball's on, and he's just waiting for that first time flip down the side, and man for man against anyone, he's a real threat.
Trusty out the Schlupp, infield to Hatate, first time to his countryman Maida on the near side, onto the halfway line for Ida, back to Hatate, scoops it forward with the right foot down the left, Maida's onto it. Looking to try and shield it from Ryan Alabayusu. It's played infield to McGregor, square to Johnston, out to the right for Nicolas Kuhn. It's at the right angle of the penalty area now, he's level with the penalty spot. It's a low ball in, it's blocked, It's Boyd once again who gets in the road and out of play for a Celtic throw-in, which Johnston takes quickly, bowling it back to McGregor, midway inside St Mirren territory for Kuhn, and then he rolls it back to the halfway line for Carter Vickers, who finds Trusty. Celtic are going to bed themselves in here. Trusty finds Sloop on this near side. It's a low ball, almost got it in behind Alibi Yusu, but it breaks to Hatate. Hatate switching it left to right for Johnston. Johnston then short ball out to the right for Kuhn, who skips infield and squares it to the central area for Sloop just outside the D, shoots it goal. It's on target, but it's a comfortable take for Hemming, who holds on. And it's St Mirren 0, Celtic 0 on just over 6 minutes.
Yeah, when Celtic build a game, especially down the right-hand side, obviously they've got Johnson, Kuhn, great partnership. But then Sloop finds himself in that sort of kind of almost inverted midfield position, and invariably he's free, and that's where St Mirren really have to close him down quickly. He was able to get a shot away in that occasion.
Sorry, Liam.
I was going to say it's a St Mirren free kick because Maida's caught Phillips in the centre circle. Stephen, crack on.
There's pros and cons to the formation that Stephen Robinson's went. He's got the two strikers, so at times he's got the man for man in terms of that out ball, but it asks a lot of your midfield. They're going to have to not let Celtic switch it. I know it's easier said than done, but the full-backs of Celtic are on all the time, and it's a lot of running for the three midfield players.
Free kick for St Mirren, right on the edge of the centre circle. Declan John over it, left-footed, bends it to the right-hand side of the box. Hatate heads it half away. Phillips nods it towards the Celtic goal, sloops underneath it, breaks back to Phillips. They're keeping up with his knee there, and he's got the ball across. Comes off a Celtic player in the right angle of the 6-yard area as St Mirren attack, but there's an offside flag gone up on this near side, and it will be a Celtic free kick.
Nice bit of skill though, wasn't it, from him? He's a big lad.
Eyeing him up for the national team.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing him play today, because I've heard a lot of good things in recent times about him, and you know, watching him on TV is one thing, but when you see him live, you can see his runs, you can see his work rate. He's a big lad, and that was a really good bit of skill.
Yeah, he was actually born in San Diego, but he's Irish for sure.
We'll take anybody, Liam,
I'm
don't
sure
worry.
he will. So will we. That's played out to Engels in the far side, rolls it back to Johnston, who finds Carter Vickers at the edge of his box. Of course, Killian Phillips was the unfortunate Aberdeen player in the Scottish Cup semi-final last season, when his spot kick in the shootout was saved by Joe Hart, as Saints pick up with Olasanya, looking to get goal side of McGregor, trying to shake him off. He's claiming he was held there, the ref doesn't think so, and McGregor comes away with it for Celtic out to this near side. Rolls it back to Sloop, who has recently displaced Greg Taylor as Brendan Rodgers' first choice left back. Taylor back in the matchday squad, having missed out during the week for personal family reasons, as Trusty finds Sloop on this near side, flicks it with the outside of the left boot to Hatate, and in field to Sloop. Back to Hatate on the near side, stabs it forward with the right foot to Maida, back to Hatate, scampering away from Phillips, and then moving it to the right of the centre circle for Johnston, and out onto the far side touchline for Kuhn, with John trying to stay with him. Difficult task that. Switched back out to Sloop, left of the centre circle, and then to Trusty on the left-hand side, the big centre-back in a left wing-back position here, though he's having to go back to his posting now, despite the fact Celtic still have the ball. Johnston out to Kuhn on the right touchline again. Kuhn in field, and now Sloop. Stephen Robinson's frustrated down there with something. Approaching the 10-minute mark, 0-0. Sliding into Mandron to prevent Callum McGregor getting onto it. The ref initially gave a throw into Celtic there, but I think the linesman felt it had gone the other way, so it's going to be a Saints ball. But that's good backtracking that by Mikael Mandron, and I guess when it's Celtic, you're up against, generally speaking, I suppose, most games, but if you're up against Celtic, it's all hands to the pump, no matter what your position is in the team.
Yeah, but I think he had to that time, because it was Trusty that actually ended up in a left-back position, because Sloop had sort of come almost into the midfield position, and Trusty gave him the option to play wide, so Mandron had to go back, and you've got to do that. You've got to do the dirty side of the game too, even if you're a striker.
Trying to play for another throw-in on this near side. It is a Celtic one this time, though. Midway inside the St Mirren half, and it's Sloop who's over it, pulls it back to Trusty on the halfway line, and then back to Carter Vickers. All going well for Celtic, and including a win over Rangers in the derby in a couple of weekends' time. You're looking at winning the league at McDermott Park at the start of next month as that long ball is swept into the path of Adamida. Right-hand side of the box, pulls it back for Hatate, who skies it not just over the bar, but over the stand. And it will be a goal kick to St Mirren, and it will stay Saints nil, Celtic nil, almost on 11.
Yeah, it was a good run though from Adamida, in behind, dragging the centre half out of position, his marker, and then creating the space where Hatate was coming in. It was just behind Hatate was a real difficult one, especially on this pitch, for him to get the proper contact on it. Just couldn't do it. It was good play.
So strong at home under Stephen Robinson, generally speaking, Stephen McGinn. But it's not been where the heart is recently for Saints, has it?
No, and I know I think the pitch as an underdog helps him today, but I think it has been a frustration for Stephen Robinson. Caelan Boyd-Munns, they like to get the ball down, but they're having to work really hard. I know it's so easy to say, don't let them switch the play, but Celtic have been so slick, 1 and 2 touch, switching the play, and they have to. I think that's why Stephen Robinson's getting so frustrated, because he has to knock them out of rhythm.
Celtic have it with McGregor, gets it to Maida. If Celtic are in their rhythm, Callum McGregor's generally at the beating heart of it. Maida with the back heel, Schlup gets onto it, away from Olasanya, lovely shimmy, down to the byline, looks to pull it back here, and it's over the bar from Dyson Maida. Well, it's good build-up play by Celtic, and good combination play by Schlup and Maida. And it was Schlup to the byline, pulled it back, Maida just about at the angle of the 6-yard box, couldn't quite get it on target. Goal kick Saints, stays 0-0 in Paisley.
Yeah, it was really good play from Schlup there, because it looked as if a little back heel from Maida to try to set him up when he went on the inside, and it looked as if he wasn't going to get there, but his pace took him there, and then he was really good to get to the byline. Really good play, and cuts it back to that man Maida again, just getting under it a little bit.
Saini kind of went under the radar a little bit in the winter window. He arrived on loan from Crystal Palace, but we're talking about a guy who's played hundreds of games at the very top level.
Yeah, no, it did actually. You know, he came in with no big fanfare, to be perfectly honest, but he's getting it up real match fitness now, and he looks quite good in that. He's strong, he's athletic, he's a good defender, and he's settling into the team really, really well.
He was absolutely magnificent against Elise, who he of course played with at Crystal Palace last season, or as recently as last season, in that game in the Allianz. He was terrific. Probably Celtic played brilliantly on the night, but he was probably the pick of the bunch. And Schmeichel rolls it along his own 6-yard line to Trusty. Now it is out with Schlup again on this near side. It's a little square ball infield to McGregor, who drops into that anchor position between the two centre backs. And it's played forward out to the right for Kuhn. And then back to Cameron Carter-Vickers, who finds Trusty. Remember earlier on, if you're just getting back into your cars, Dundee 1, St Johnstone 1, Rangers 1, Motherwell 2, Ross County 1, Kilmarnock 0. That was the Premiership 4-1 win for Ayr United against Airdrieonians. Falkirk dropped points, but scored late to at least salvage a draw at Hamilton. Full reaction available at the website bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. Of course, the Hibs Hearts and Aberdeen Dundee United games to come on a superb Sunday afternoon of Premiership football. Sports Scene highlights tonight, tomorrow, 7:15. Here comes Celtic. Schlup just outside the box, bends it across to the back post, and Engels first time over the bar. Celtic knocking on the door a little bit louder here. 14 played, 0-0.
Yeah, Stephen had mentioned, you know, it's a really difficult task for the three midfielders. Obviously, St Mirren playing with Mandron and Alessandro up front, and yes, they'll drop back, but that's not their natural game to help the midfield three. So a midfield three has got to cover the full width of the pitch, almost, with the wing backs almost having to take care of the two wingers that Celtic push high up the pitch, and Celtic are just moving that ball from side to side, waiting for the open. It's a real task for them, working really hard to try to close Celtic down. Celtic getting control of the game now.
Yeah, chances just in the last few minutes for both Maida and Engels. St Mirren had an opportunity of their own early on through Mandron. He put it over the bar from about 8 yards out. Celtic have it with McGregor out to Johnston. First time at the outside of the boot. The ball is played forward into the air, headed away by Richard Taylor. Breaks to Gogic, who tries to get rid of it, but it's coming right back at St Mirren here, and Taylor misjudges the bounce. Kuhn's all over him. Kuhn has it. Taylor tries to get between the man and the ball. He's defended it pretty well in the end. Richard Taylor, he'd a slightly difficult start to his St Mirren career, but he's shown a lot more positive consistency in recent times. In the second half of last term too, as Sloop picks up in the centre circle and rolls it with the left foot out to Johnston on the right and down the line for Engels. Midway inside the St Mirren half, low ball to the byline, pulled back for Ida by Hatate, but it's blocked in behind for, looks like a goal kick and an offside.
It's an offside. I think they've given
yeah.
it against Hatate actually, but it was a good run again. Midfielder getting in behind the defence, which you've got to do. But it was good defending in the middle. Was it Alec Gogic, was it, up against Mairi? Got really touch tight with him and didn't allow him to get a shot away. But the offside had come.
Yeah, it's one of the easiest jobs for Stephen Robinson's naming those three at the back, isn't it? Fraser, Gogic, Taylor. Just about every week. Yeah,
St Mirren need to hang in here just about. Celtic are really playing well, they're really quick and they're moving it, and St Mirren are really working hard to get to it always feels like a yard or 2 yards off them. Success, I think, even the way Celtic have started this first 15 minutes, being 0-0 for St Mirren, just hang in this first 5-10 minutes, start to grow into it.
So Hara picking up on the left, rear 40 forward for Saints this. Level with 18-yard line, pulls it back, looking for Mandron, but McGregor read it so well and he's onto it and he's driving across the halfway line, the Celtic skipper. Right foot ball out to the left for Maida, cut it by Alabiusu. And now it's Killian Phillips, he nicks in ahead of McGregor to win it back. Alabiusu forward to the centre circle where Mandron finds O'Hara, looks to sweep it through for Olasanya. He can't get onto it, Johnston's there and he rolls it back to Schmeichel. Saints nil, Celtic nil. We've played 17 minutes here in the late kick-off this Saturday early evening, and it is Sloop back to Trusty. You are listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We are online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland, on digital, on sounds, and it's Celtic on the ball here, and it's Trusty squaring it to Carter Vickers. They've got a game fewer to win now as it stands to retain the title after Motherwell's latest victory at Ibrox, because of course last March they beat Rangers, and Rangers hadn't lost a game at Ibrox domestically or league-wise, lost to Queen's Park in the Cup for a long time. St Mirren won last week, and Olasanya's in behind here against Trusty, and he forces a save from Schmeichel. Outstanding goalkeeping, but Toyosi Olasanya knows he's just spurned a massive opportunity for St Mirren to take the lead there. He was in behind, Trusty couldn't get back at him, but his shot saved by Schmeichel, who made himself big, came out to make the save. And Saints have to settle for the corner, Stephen McGinn. That is the ball though. Mark O'Hara held his hand up, an apology a minute previous because he was trying to find him, but that is the ball. If St Mirren can win the ball back in the middle, don't be taking too many touches, and Olasanya one-on-one, as I said, pace to burn, big opportunity that for Saints. Mark O'Hara over the corner on the far side. Made his debut as a 16-year-old at Kilmarnock against Celtic, and this corner comes in, it comes off Gogic's head, was back towards the 18-yard line though, and there's a foul there by Phillips on Johnston at the edge of the box, and that will be a free kick to Celtic. Of course, there are many people out there who think Killian Phillips should be suspended for this game after his challenge during the week, but he is there, he's out there, and in the thick of it there, Packy.
Yeah, I didn't see the challenge. I'm sorry, I can't comment on it, but listen, he's there, he's playing. That was a physical encounter with Johnston, and he just comes out in the wrong side. But that was a really good chance for St Mirren there, and you can see exactly what they should be doing for this entire game. Just getting Olasanya on the shoulder of any of the defenders, 1v1, and he's got the pace to burn. Nobody's going to catch him. But that was a big save also from Schmeichel. There's a long ball, Richard Taylor now. Mandron's onto it, right-hand side of the box. He shoots across the face of the goal. He hasn't got it on target though, and it will be a goal kick. And there was no offside flag on that occasion, Stephen.
No, but in games like these, when you're playing Celtic, you need reason to believe, hope. And I said to you, they've done a lot of running the first 15 minutes. They just have to hang in. They've did more than that in the last 5 minutes. They've thrown a couple of punches, so it gives you that second wind. Maybe for the next time that Celtic have a long spell of possession, that there's still something here for us. Yeah, and you also know that the way the Celtic play, the full-backs will be higher up the pitch, they will be out of position, and that space down the side of either centre half is there to be exploited, and that was two occasions, Olasanya on one side and Mandron on the other side, and two very decent chances, I've got to say. It is a cat and mouse, but with playing the two strikers, you're almost giving up possession to Callum McGregor, which is something St Mirren wouldn't usually do, but obviously because of the pitch, Stephen Robinson's went with the two strikers. Maida and Engels with the best chances for Celtic. Mandron has spurned a couple, Olasanya two.
The Saints very much in this. Still goalless as Schmeichel clears under pressure on his 6-yard line. Phillips picks up the scraps wide on the right, but he's happy to accept the throw-in. Saints fans enjoying the last few minutes.
Yes, really good. And as I said, it puts doubt in the Celtic minds as well. All of a sudden, Austin Trusty, from stepping into St Mirren's halves, he's had to do the big run with Olasanya, and he maybe takes that extra touch, which gives you the chance to make contact with him.
Long throw coming in from Phillips here on this near side. In front of the main stand. Bowls it into the Celtic box. Flicked out half away by Schlupp. Breaks the edge of the area for Boyd Muntz, whose effort's blocked. And it breaks kindly for Celtic and for Johnston, who clears from the right-hand side of his box. And Kuhn picks up on the far side. Been very interesting to see where that shot was going and it not been blocked, because I think that's bang on target.
Yeah, he had to take a touch. He kind of bobbled up, didn't it? I think he was going to hit it first time, and suddenly it bobbled up and he had to take a touch, but he still was able to get a shot away. But it just allowed one of the Celtic players to get in the line of the ball and block it.
It's back with the Saints keeper Hemming here at the edge of his box.
Oh, there's a great
long
ball.
Oh, it doesn't quite make it to Alabiusu, though. It was Schlupp who wins the header first and clears for Celtic. Marcus Fraser facing his own goal as well to spin and turn away from both Maida and then Hatate. Wonderful play by Fraser, who comes across the halfway line looking to get it through to Alabiusu, who's in behind Schlupp here. Big chance here potentially for St Mirren. He's into the box, pulls it across. Schmeichel makes the save. O'Hara's there, and his effort saved by the Dane. Well, St Mirren have had a handful of opportunities to take the lead in this game against the league leaders and champions. That's another one that's got away from them. It was a similar story on Tuesday night. Aberdeen missed 4 or 5 gilt-edged opportunities across the match. Same for St Mirren here. It stays 0-0. We played a quarter of it.
Yeah, but the difference, I think, with the Aberdeen game was the Celtic weren't actually very good on the ball. They were giving the ball away. Their control. Today, actually, their passing has been really good. As what's killing them is that ball in behind, just down the sides or over the top, and they're not able to deal with it. And that's been, what, 3 or 4 great chances that St Mirren have had. Maybe a double chance there in that last one.
It's Mark O'Hara, isn't it, Stephen? I mean, that's a great chance.
I think Alabiusu's got to pick him out in the first one. I think it's a cutback, a roll across, and Mark O'Hara puts St Mirren 1-0 up. It's outstanding from Marcus Fraser in the first part. Yeah. He almost says to Alabiusu, get on your bike, I'll find you.
Long ball for Celtic, comes all the way through to Hemming. He clears first time from the right angle of his own box. Now for a Celtic throw in. Marcus Fraser, he played twice for the Celtic first team, including in a European match against Rennes. His only domestic appearance came against Cali Thistle, but you're going back 12 years since that game against Inverness. Came through the Celtic Academy. That's long spell at Ross County as well, nearly 200 appearances there, but he's been an excellent St Mirren player as well, hasn't he, Stephen? He really has.
Yeah, unbelievable, so consistent, so reliable, and sometimes you feel like you're criticising or playing down the achievement of being that, but it's so important. It's having someone in the dressing room that you know you can just rely on. It's the best feeling ever.
A head knock here. It's Austin Trusty who is down, so he's going to have to receive some treatment. Still no deadlock broken here in Paisley on 24 minutes, 0-0. And Packy, how are you rating the Celtic performance so far? Because actually, St Mirren have had the better chances and indeed more of them.
Yeah, you know, it's the way the Celtic play. Obviously, they open up, they move the ball. The 2 fullbacks are high normally. They're not in a deeper position. Celtic and that spaces that St Mirren have been able to exploit, and it's not by great, you know, individual passing sequences in the middle of the pitch. It's just about getting the ball down and playing in behind, and then the pace. Having the 2 up front has been an advantage from that perspective for St Mirren, because they are really dangerous. You know, we've seen the pace of Olasanya and Mandron also got in down the side. You know, so from that perspective, yeah, I don't think Celtic have played that badly. They've just not been able to deal with the ball over the top.
Well, Liam Scales might have to come on to replace Trusty here. Scales has been doing a little warm-up and he's making his way to the dugout, so it might be that Trusty's evening is going to be ended early here.
Yeah, and you know, for that ball over the top also, if it's coming from the sides, then, you know, your centre-halves have got to deepen themselves a little bit. They can't be caught square, and they've got to cover the full back a little bit better than they're doing, and read that situation.
St Mirren are 11 games without a win over Celtic since a 2-0 victory here in September 22. O'Hara and Oyunga scored before and after half-time. Celtic had 80% of the ball that day, but they lost what would be their last defeat in the league until after the title was won. And we're beaten down the road from here at Ibrox. 27 games unbeaten in the Premiership after losing here. And you can hear in the background the confirmation of the change. Trusty off with the head knock, and Liam Scales will replace him, so presumably that will go down as a concussion sub, so that will mean that both teams will have 6 substitutions available to them. As Scales takes the drop ball from the ref, he's got it back here from McGregor, out to the left for Schlupp, back to Scales, and then to Schmeichel. So 0-0 it is. It's a game that's in the balance right now.
It is, and we did say St Mirren had the better chances. Celtic have probably had more possession of the ball, and they've been trying to work it, but they haven't really created, you know, they've had a couple of shots over the crossbar, but nothing to trouble Zach Hemming and St Mirren goal, while Schmeichel has come up with a couple of really big saves in this game so far. Be interesting to see how Scales does after being, he's kind of almost not played for a while. Hopefully he'll settle in quite well. It gives him a chance to get back into the team.
Yeah, I don't think he would have been too happy with the way they conceded their goal the other night, the Shayden Morris goal. He played with Morris, he knows exactly what he's going to do, and Morris just drove at him down the right and finished well. But Celtic, Kasper Schmeichel in particular, disappointed not to get the clean sheet as Kuhn comes forward and finds Schlupp left hand side of the St Mirren box, and in it goes! Fabulous goal! Jeffrey Schlupp smashes it home in off the outside of the post there, across the bows of the goalkeeper, and it bounces back into the net. And despite all those opportunities for St Mirren, they're paid a big price there, because Schlupp scores his first Celtic goal, and it's St Mirren 0, Celtic 1.
Yeah, speculative shot, I've got to say, but it went right through the wing backs, Alabalusi's legs, I think, and just across. I don't think the goalkeeper really had any chance. Going to hit the post on the far side, but it's gone right through. Defender's got to do better than that, hasn't he? He's got to almost push him down one side.
Yeah, it was the attack that Celtic had been causing St Mirren a lot of problems. That switch out to the full-back, and obviously there not being a right midfielder, right winger to cover. Once you get into the box, Alabusa, you're thinking, just take your medicine. You have to take him down and run and try and stop the cross. He backs off him, and the quality of Jeffrey Schlupp, he identifies if he gets it through his legs, then Hemmings has no chance.
You can't let it afford to go through your legs though from that position. You've got to do the block, you've got to get a block, get your you know, and goalkeepers are always looking for defenders to almost show them almost one way. If he's going to get a shot in, then he can see it, but when it goes through your legs, the goalkeeper's got almost no chance to him, because he can't, it's gone, and it's gone past the defender before he can react.
It's a good finish by Schlupp. But
yeah,
I mean, again, on Tuesday, Packy, Aberdeen with those chances didn't take them, found themselves behind, found themselves blown away eventually.
Yeah, and that is the difference.
Here comes St Mirren. It is Phillips. He's body checked on the edge of the penalty area, and Saints will have a free kick here, just to the right of the D. Alabiusu's down as well, and the ref is going back to make sure he's all right. The St Mirren medics come on, but they might have their work cut out here. Killian Phillips is down, Liam Scales is down. It's a clumsy challenge by Scales right in the edge of his own box, and St Mirren will have a free kick opportunity to try and equalise immediately after going behind here.
I think is it Maeda that's down, or Scales? Is it Scales that's down? No?
Scales, he's back up now. He was down in the wake of the challenge.
Sorry, I'm not seeing it properly. And that was a Scales that went down. Yeah, it's kind of almost like the two of them just clashed, but when somebody's in possession of the ball, you're always going to give away the free kick, and it's right on the edge of the box.
Well, this could present St Mirren with a real chance to hit back straight away here. Stephen Robinson down there with Brian Kerr and Jamie Langfield trying to conjure something up here, but they'll be concerned for Alabiusu here. Stephen, he's absolutely poleaxed.
Yeah, it's not a great sign. The physio's almost doing the checks round the head, so first and foremost I hope he's okay. But I think from the St Mirren point of view, from the game's point of view, the lengthy delay with Trusty going off, they were having the best spell of the match, and it's just that focus, that almost 95-minute focus you need.
Because that's played a part there.
Yeah, because they switched off. As I said, the first 15 minutes, yes, Celtic were really slick, playing well. But St Mirren were really condensed, they were working together as a team, and from the restart, Celtic, they move it quick and get into the box, and all that good work from the 10 minutes previous, and now you're really up against it. So big opportunity here though, at the edge of the box. I'm just trying to identify a free kick taker here in the St Mirren ranks.
Yeah, no sign as to who exactly is going to take it. Alabius, who's okay, he's back on his feet. He's having to come off the pitch first though before he can return to the action. Free kick then. Declan John perhaps here, left foot, certainly favours the left footer. It's to the right of the D. Phillips comes over to have a word with him. St Mirren, they've had 4 really good chances in the game, haven't taken any of them in the trail thanks to that Schlupp goal. 31.5 on the clock, and a chance right in front of the Celtic supporters here for St Mirren. Celtic wall being organised by Kasper Schmeichel just now. He's just going between his posts just to make sure it's in the optimum position for him. Left a bigger gap to his left. That's to the St Mirren players' right here as they attack the goal to the right. Phillips and John are over the free kick. It's just about bang on the 18-yard line. What can they do with this? Can they equalise? John with it! Oh, and he has done! Brilliant goal! In off the underside of the crossbar. And just a few minutes after going behind, St Mirren are back on terms. St Mirren 1, Celtic 1, and that is an outstanding free kick from Declan John, the former Rangers player.
That's unbelievable from Declan John. I actually thought it was too close on this pitch to get up and down. I thought he was maybe going to put his foot through it and hope for a deflection, or maybe go Kasper Schmeichel's side. It's unbelievable to get that up and down with the help of the bar. It's a massive goal for St Mirren.
That's a brilliant goal. Really, I don't think the goalkeeper had any chance whatsoever to get across. Power, pace, as you say, dipping, got the curl on it, got everything on it that you want from a free kick taker. And from that distance out, you're right, to get it up and down, really tremendous goal.
Now he's taken it brilliantly. It's an expert free kick from Declan John for his first St Mirren goal. And it's come in spectacular style here against the best team in the country as well, and one of the best goalkeepers in Europe he's beaten. And I guess if you are going to beat Kasper Schmeichel from a free kick outside the box, it has to be top class, and it was. One apiece here.
That was a brilliant free kick, and listen, they've deserved it, St Mirren. They've created probably the best chances in the game. They were unlucky to be a goal down. They had 3-4 really good chances, and you know, they've got one from a set piece, which is an incredible goal.
Celtic have it with Engels on the far side, but he's losing out in the battle with Richard Taylor. He eventually brings the young Belgian to the ground, and that will be a free kick to Celtic over on the far side. Frustration down there for Brendan Rodgers, and his team just going in front but pegged back within a few minutes. And there would have been even less time between the two goals had they not had the injury to Alabiusu to deal with. And that goal timed on 33 minutes. Schlupp's was on 28. And we're back here in the game on terms. And Maida driving down the left-hand side. Gogic comes to meet him. His touch in field takes it to Alabiusu, who clears. Little flick by Hatate for Schlupp. And then to Scales. He gave away the free kick that St Mirren have just profited from. McGregor, square ball to his right for Johnston, and then out to the far side for Kuhn. Just knocking it forward, right-hand side of the box. Johnston gets the cross in, but Hemming read it and gets both gloves onto it. And with 10 to the break, Saints 1, Celtic 1.
Rio Hatate's been brilliant. Sometimes when you come to a pitch like this and you look at some of the more ball players type, you wonder how they'll get on in a physical game, but he's so clever. That little ball, you think as a St Mirren midfielder you're going to step in, but so clever to recognise that ball round the corner.
Headed away by Scales for Celtic, and he's found Maida as well, who knocks it back to Scales, not far from outside his own box. To Schlup on this near side, long with the left foot. Ida gives chase. It's going to bounce out of play. St Mirren will have a throw in. Stephen Robinson will be absolutely elated with that equaliser. And he'll kind of feel, even though it's Celtic that are here, he'll kind of feel points tonight are pretty important when you consider what Motherwell did at Ibrox earlier on. And
every point's important.
Ross County beating Kilmarnock, yeah. Well, if it's not considered the business end of the season, we're not far off it. Long from Richard Taylor. Level the edge of the centre circle into the Celtic half, down this near side. Scales with a header. Schlup goes down, no free kick. Saints have a throw. Killian Phillips will leave it. Farrell Biusu's not showing any ill effects from that head knock earlier. That spell at Kilmarnock when he was on loan from Arsenal in 22-23. Another long ball through, but it's different wavelengths there. Gogic and the two strikers, comes all the way through to Schmeichel, and now it's with Carter Vickers at walking pace. It's his right foot in the ball, and then squares it along the grass to Scales, and now out to Schlup on this near side. Clip ball forward with the left foot. The extended right leg of Marcus Fraser pokes it out for a Celtic throw-in on this near side, which Schlup takes short to Ida. And then back to Jeffrey Schlup, who finds Scales. And then all the way back to Schmeichel. It was at one point Celtic were eyeing up potentially beating their full season defensive record, which is 13. Set, not the last century, but the one before. There have been more goals conceded recently, and one of the targets in his first spell was talking about this Easter Road last week. Brendan Rodgers wanted to keep the goals against under 20. That's under threat now. And Schlup has it. He's tried to feed it through to Ida, cut out by Gogic. Schlup onto it, level with the St Mirren 18-yard line on this near side. Flicks it back to Callum McGregor. And then out to Schlup again on the left. Ticking towards the interval here. It's Liam Scales, forward to Hatate. Maida ahead of him. Hatate moves infield instead. Back it comes to McGregor. Lloyd Muntz tried to win it back, but McGregor's done enough to force it to the right for Johnston, and out to the touchline for Kuhn, to the underlapping Johnston on the right, level with the 6-yard line. He wins the corner.
Yeah, listen, if you work that ball well, Celtic from this left-hand side, couple of combination passes, just working across over onto the right side from left to right, but no real penetration, and they haven't actually used Adamida at all in this game so far. Maybe the odd run in behind that he's tried, but
same Easter Road last week, Packy.
Yeah, everything's been down the sides, everything's across midfield down the sides. They haven't gone direct to him too often.
Celtic were much better when Ida came off at half-time. In comes Engel's corner though, headed away by Gogic. Back out to the far side. Declan John gets onto it, and now it's with O'Hara. Lasanya's away. And it's squared by O'Hara, crosses the edge of his own box, gets away with it. Richard Taylor's picked up wide on the right. The left side is centre-back, it's infield to Phillips, then back to Fraser, who uses Taylor. He's still over on this near side. Long ball with the left, looking for Olasanya, gets in between the two defenders. Olasanya's onto it! He's clipped it towards goal, it's gone wide. Schmeichel's brought him down as well. The referee signals for a goal kick, but again, it's that jet-fast pace of Olasanya that's caused Carter Vickers and Scales serious bother there. Less than 6 to the break, it is 1-1. It will be a goal kick for Celtic.
It's just a ball played over it, right, almost penetrating pass right through them, but nobody's catching him. I'm telling you, when he stays right on the shoulder and that ball's played, that's where then the goalkeeper maybe has to come into it a wee bit quicker. You know, he's got to be out there, he's got to be starting position to deal with that through ball, and I don't think there was any shout for a penalty there, because he's knocked it well wide.
Unavoidable contact is what happened there with Schmeichel.
I'd like to see it again, but I think Liam Scales will get away with one. I think he's taking the chance that he's just hoping the ball will go through to Casper Schmeichel, but you can't take chances against Olasanya because he gets there, and I think that's a huge opportunity. I think he goes with the wrong foot. I think if he goes with his left foot, I think he scores, and that would give you so much encouragement. Even though he was right up against Liam Scales, you can still get in clean through.
One apiece in Paisley. As Carter Vickers goes back to Schmeichel, he sweeps it to his left for Scales. Under pressure from Mandron, forward it goes. Maida with the dummy, Ida with the flick, couldn't quite work it back to Maida. Both managers down there, the two Northern Irishmen applauding their players' efforts in the game. There will be a St Mirren throw-in on this near side, which Marcus Fraser's over. We will bring you reaction to the 3 o'clock kickoffs before we're off air tonight. I'm sure there will be time at half-time to do so with some of them, and some big results earlier on in across the 4 divisions of the SPFL. You can obviously check them out at bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland, but in the, well, Scales giving it back to Schmeichel, and he's gone behind for a goal kick after the touch from Olasanya as he put the pressure on. Scales and Schmeichel perhaps getting away with one there. Dundee 1, St Johnstone 1, Rangers 1, Motherwell 2, and Ross County 1, Kilmarnock 0. There's going to be potentially, I don't know how many top 6 places will be available to the teams currently in the bottom 6. Someone's going to end up with a real golden ticket, because there's going to be, I would imagine, not too many points between whoever finishes 6th at the split and who's in 11th place.
Yeah, it's so tight at the moment, isn't it? You know, in these big games. And I'm just thinking about St Mirren. They've got a nice run in here. They're playing actually all the teams in that bottom sort of almost 5 that up against them. So it's in their own hands, put it that way.
I think they've been top 6 the last 2 seasons as well, Stevens. They're getting used to it.
I think when your week looks like Ibrox on the Saturday, Tynecastle on the Wednesday, and Celtic at home, then the Saturday you hope for good fixtures to come round the corner.
There's a long ball forward on the left for St Mirren. They're doing more attacking, and it's lumped into the Celtic box, headed away by Schlup. Free from the end of the 45, and the referee blows the whistle, and Celtic, I think, have got a free kick here. I'm not sure if was it an offside flag went up?
Yeah, it was. I think it might have even been a foul, but
Schlupp's
referee,
not happy with something.
No, the referee blew far too early, because Maeda was gone. He was away, and the space was all vacant for him to run forward about 40 or 50 yards. The referee done St Mirren a favour there.
Long ball, Ida chases down the left, shepherded there by Gogic. Ida back to Schlup. Inside football back to McGregor, who squares it to the right of the centre circle for Carter Vickers. Pushes it to his right for Johnston. Out to the touchline for Kuhn. Faced by the St Mirren goal scorer Declan John. It's 1-1. Celtic looking for the lead back. Under the lights now here in Paisley. Squared to Schlup. And he pokes it into the St Mirren box for Maida. He's taking on his man. Oh, it's a clumsy looking challenge. And Celtic have a penalty.
Oh, my word.
It's a dreadful tackle there. And it's just an awful decision that was made by Alabayusa to go to ground and bring the Celtic striker down. And Celtic have a penalty here as we get towards half-time. Stephen Robinson will be furious.
Oh, he is
so they
furious.
are just double-checking it just now.
But listen, you know, he's gone to ground far too early in that situation. Yeah, for me it's a penalty, because actually Maeda tried to stay on his feet, but he had lost his balance because of the tackle. Yeah, you know, he didn't make any contact with the ball, and I know he's up against Maeda, and it's really difficult because of his pace. That you're inside the box, but you can't afford to dive in the way that he's dived in.
Well, they're just double-checking one or two other things. The foul has been confirmed, and the penalty decision has now been confirmed. So it is a penalty to Celtic, who can get their lead back here on the stroke of half-time. And there's your confirmation in the background there.
It's such an important time, right before half-time. Obviously for Celtic, it's a brilliant time to score a goal, but for St Mirren, after the work that they've put in, to give away such a needless penalties.
It's the 10th penalty Celtic have been awarded this season. They've scored 8 of the previous 9. The only one they haven't was against Young Boys in the Champions League. Engels missed that one. He's over this one, but it didn't cost them that night. But he's got a chance here, if he beats Zach Hemming, to give Celtic the lead as we approach stoppage time at the end of the first half. Arne Engels waits, right-footed penalty. Hemming with his arms outstretched. Here goes Engels, he scores! Celtic back in front in Paisley. It's a calm penalty, pretty much right down the middle. And Celtic are back in front here After leading early on, St Mirren cancelled it out with a spectacular free kick, but Engels rolls the penalty home, and it's St Mirren 1, Celtic 2.
Alabiusu still got his head in his hands, but he needs to go on with it now. What I think is the first goal spooks him. I think because of the first one he goes tight, and as I said, I'm about to compliment him because I'm thinking you've learned your lesson, you're taking him down the line, and potentially you're going to put it out for a corner, but he's just lunged in too early and given away the penalty, and such a disappointment because as you see, you're about to compliment him thinking he's learned his lesson, but terrible timing for St Mirren.
Well, we're just approaching the end of the first of 5 minutes that have been added on at the end of the first half, but Arne Engels stroked it home. He's into double figures for the season as far as goal scoring is concerned. And actually, the man he replaced, Matt O'Reilly, took a little while to get his shooting boots on in Celtic colours. Engels has caught fire quicker in that regard, albeit obviously a few of them have been penalty kicks, but still to take them. And Celtic, as they do so often, score late in a half, and that just suckers you as the opposition when they do that. Long ball here, Ida chasing. Underneath it's Marcus Fraser. They certainly can't afford to concede again before half-time, Saints. Long clearance for St Mirren. It's the header from Carter Vickers to the right for Engels. Finds Hatate. Now it's Kuhn to McGregor. Now to Hatate on the far side. Touchline, infield to McGregor, then to Kuhn. Now Hatate again. Looks up at the box, an early one in, but it's too close to Hemming, who holds on. Saints 1, Celtic 2. We played 2 of 5 minutes in stoppages. Here's Alabiusu. Long ball forward, looking for Mandron, headed away by Carter Vickers. Wouldn't fancy being Alabiusu. I mean, to face Stephen Robinson inside the changing room at half-time.
Yeah, but I think he'll handle him quite well, you know, because you can't. He knows himself, the defender, that he's probably been at fault for the 2 goals, really, and you just can't. You know, you just got to build his confidence up and try and get him through the game, and then you can talk to him maybe tomorrow or the next day or whatever.
Hatate on this near side, level with the edge of the centre circle. He's in his own half. He finds McGregor. Then Hatate. Side foot ball, infield to Carter Vickers, who gets Celtic away again down the right with Johnston. And up the line for Kuhn. Johnston goes on the overlap. Kuhn uses him as the decoy. Comes infield, squares it for Sloop. Sloop then finds Hatate at the left angle of the box. Shimmies back onto his right side. Squares it for Kuhn. Takes the touch, tries to move infield. O'Hara was strong though. And then it's away by Boyd Muntz. Carter Vickers with it on the far side, finds Johnston, and now it's with McGregor. Just outside the centre circle, he squares it out here to Engels, who pops up on the left-hand side. Now it's Maida looking for Sloop, well read by Fraser though. Infield for Mandron, gets it back to O'Hara, who rolls it back to Taylor. It's about a minute and a half of the stoppage time left. 2-1 Celtic. It's O'Hara forward to Mandron, heavy touch, allows Johnston to get it back to Schmeichel. Will then turn it out to Liam Scales. He finds Sloop, he finds Engels. Worked out to Johnston over on the far side. The last domestic side to come from behind against Celtic and beat them was Kilmarnock, December 23, and that's the only time it's happened since September 2018, when they lost also at Rugby Park.
Yeah, but
Here's
you know,
Mandron through, looking for Olasanya. Scales was strong this time. Olasanya goes down, no free kick. And strong defending by Liam Scales.
Yeah,
he does enough this time against Olasanya.
Yeah, it wasn't a free kick. I think he just used his body quite well, but I'll tell you what, if St Mirren just keep doing what they've been doing in that first half and putting that ball in behind, they will create more chances. Then it's about finishing. Then it's about, you know, if you've got 4 really good chances at home, and I mean good chances, you've got to at least put one of them away. Forget the free kick. That's a set piece. That's a real bonus. But from open play.
You speak about players learning in game. Liam Scales does brilliant there because he knows that he can't let Toyisi Olasanya get into full motion because he'll breeze past him. So he's dealt with it, and no foul for me. I think it was great defending.
Sloop for Celtic on this near side. Dink ball forward. Maida controls with his right knee. Challenge from Alabiusu, and now it is Fraser forward to Mandron, and now it's with O'Hara. Forward it comes to Olasanya. Not a great touch, but he still gets onto it. He's really wide though, out on this right-hand side. He's doing well against Scales, looking to try and get a cross in here, I think. Olasanya works it back to Phillips, right foot ball comes in, headed away by Carter Vickers. We played 5.5 of stoppage time, 5 was added, but obviously the penalty went in just as we went into the first of those minutes, so there's added time and added time. There will be a throw in here for Saints.
I think Olasanya's got to play that. I don't know why he checks back. He's got the beating of Liam Scales. You either keep going or you play it across for your strike partner, Mandron.
Phillips then, and the chance to launch it in the box as he's bowled it to Fraser, right-hand side of the area. His attempted cross is blocked by Schlupp. Still it's Fraser trying to at least win the corner. He's managed to get it back to Phillips. He's got his cross ball in as well. Headed away by Scales. By Muntz, the edge of the area. Lifts it back in. Chance here for Mandron, but Schmeichel holds on. He got goal side. Mikael Mandron 6 yards out as the half-time whistle goes. But he couldn't knock it past Schmeichel. And they're just having a little look back at that just to make sure Mandron wasn't fouled just as he went through, and that's been cleared, and that is the end of the first half here. 3 goals, 2 of them to Celtic, who led because St Mirren missed plenty opportunities beforehand, and it was disappointing for Stephen Robinson when Jeffrey Schlupp smashed it across goal, and it went in off the other post, the back post, and nestled in the net. Declan John within 5 minutes of time on the clock, and then a couple of minutes of game time really though, struck with a free kick out in off the underside of the bar after a clumsy challenge by Scales at the edge of his own area. But then just as we move towards the half-time interval, Alabayusu giving away the penalty with a clumsy challenge of his own on Daizen Maeda. Engels took the penalty and converted, and that means Celtic getting ever closer to that title, which could be wrapped up a month from now. Half-time in Paisley. St Mirren 1, Celtic 2.
The Scottish Premiership.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
European football lives here.
It's all over! Rangers have won!
Rangers finished 8th in the group stage of the Europa League.
Which will take them directly into the last 16. What an achievement.
And now they'll face Fenerbahce for a place in the quarter-finals.
Flips it in by post! Rasta!
Catch the first leg from Turkey live on Sportsound.
Another very special night in Europe.
Rangers in the Europa League. Thursday from 5. Listen on your digital radio or by asking your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland Extra.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. That game to look forward to on Thursday evening. We're on air at 5 o'clock. Half-time in Paisley. A really good open game. But Celtic with that crucial penalty from Arne Engels right on the stroke of half-time. A terrible challenge from Alabayusu there. That after Declan John had levelled things up with a wonderful free kick. Jeffrey Schlupp with the opening goal in 28 minutes. So St Mirren 1, Celtic 2 in the 3 o'clock kickoff. So Ross County 1, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 1, St Johnstone 1, and Rangers 1, Motherwell 2. We heard earlier on from the Motherwell manager Michael Vimmer. Let's now hear from the Rangers interim manager Barry Ferguson. He's been chatting with Martin Dowden.
Barry, I'm not sure many people saw that coming. Put bluntly, it wasn't really good enough, was it?
No, listen, disappointed, really disappointed. I'm not going to stand here and say otherwise and try and paint a different picture. I just never seen it coming. But listen, there's obviously a clear problem in terms of playing at home. And that's something me as a manager and my staff and the players need to sit down and really get to the bottom of. So look, overall, really disappointed with the result.
Given what you've been trying to instil in the short time you have, I mean, you must be pretty shocked that you're not. It didn't seem the desire was there or something like that.
Just look, really, there was a real lack of energy. Second half, they come back a wee bit, but listen, I had to go and make a few changes to make that happen. But still, look, overall, it's not good enough. There's no way I'm going to say otherwise. They understand that, And as I said, it's a real problem. But listen, I'm going to be really positive with it. I'm going to try and sort the problem. I'm going to try and give it everything to try and sort the problem, me and the staff. So, look, they'll take a break tomorrow and they'll come in on Monday. We'll sit down, we'll have a real good chat with each other and try and solve it.
Do you see this as an issue of ability or is it mentality?
No, there's good players here. I've seen it with my own eyes. Technically, very good. See, to play at a club like Rangers, you need to be mentally strong. Look, the fans demand that of you. But one thing I will say, the fans got right behind them. Right behind them, even at 2-0. And I said to them in the dressing room, they will go with you. But you need to show a real passion. I never seen as much as I wanted to in the first half. In the second half, it was a bit better. But listen, still lost the game. The most important thing for me when you're at Rangers is winning games of football. Even when you're not playing at your best, you need to find a way to win.
I mean, you're not responsible for this, but that's now Queen's Park, St Mirren, Motherwell.
I'm responsible for the day. I'm not going to strike away for that. I'm responsible for the day. It's my team now. I know it's not my player. People will go and say I've not signed them or whatever, but I've been with them now 4 days. I know it's not enough, and a lot of people will say that, but it's something that I'm going to go and try and fix, and I'm positive about that, and I'm positive I will fix it.
Do you maybe feel in the team around you that the problems are maybe bigger than you thought before you came in?
I'm just look, I knew I was at the games myself, Queen's Park, and obviously St Mirren. I've been at virtually 90% of the games at home this season. It's just been a lack of consistency for the guys. I spoke about that in the dressing room there. And as I said, it's something that needs to get sorted really quickly, because domestically you need to be dominant. And I've not been dominant enough throughout the season, and certainly at home in the last 3 games.
What's incredible is that Europa League form, you're getting into a really tough test there. Do you expect them to be able to just switch again and produce the levels they have in that competition?
Well, that's what happens when you play at Rangers. Listen, European football's great. It's great to be involved in. It's great financially for the club, but your bread and butter is domestic trophies. First and foremost the league, and then you've got a League Cup, you've got the Scottish Cup. Domestically the form has to be better. Europe's always been a bonus. It's brilliant to go and pit your wits against really good teams and really good managers and really good players, but what matters is domestic football for me.
Just a last one, at a moment in the game, Cyril Dessers scores, it's ruled out for offside. I've seen it back myself, I'm not sure if you have, but do you think that was the right call?
I've not seen it. I've spent a bit of time with the players and obviously doing the media. I've not watched it back. I will watch it back. I've been told from the guys on the bench that it was a case it came off a Motherwell player. I've not seen it myself, so I can't give you a judgment on that.
Right, the thoughts there of the Rangers interim manager Barry Ferguson. A sore one for him and his players today. Also a sore one for Kilmarnock away at Ross County. They really battered the home side late on, but County held on for the victory. We heard earlier on from Don Cowie on Sports Sound. We can actually hear in a couple of minutes' time from Derek McInnes. Before that, let's actually hear from the Dundee manager, Tony Docherty. That was a big game at the bottom of the table today. It finished 1 apiece. Tony Docherty has been speaking with Brian McLaughlin.
Tony, are you content with a point? You could have won it in the end, possibly?
It's a bit bittersweet, to be honest with you, Brian, because I thought first half, I thought St Johnstone were better. Credit to them. I thought the rotations were good. He would struggle to deal with that. Made a change at half time, and I thought we were much better second half. And at that stage, when we get the goal back and get it 1 each, I was looking for us to kick on it, and I think we did, and I think we looked like the team most likely to win in the game. I know the importance of winning the game, but there's also a real importance of not losing the game. And so yeah, bittersweet, because I think right towards the end there, I thought Scott Tiffany's shot was in when he's checked inside. He does that so often, and I thought it was going in. And then the inside of the post there, and then Lyle Cameron's shot at the end, So we've had the opportunities, and I think the boys need to take confidence from that. I think it's important, there's nothing drains confidence more than losing goals. And the most pleasing aspect for me today is I've got my captain back, and we looked like a team that looked solid again. We looked like, I was gutted we never got a clean sheet today, but I thought we looked solid with Joe in there and organising. And it's just that bit of experience, I said to you before the game, that we've really been lacking this year. You know, we're a very, very young team, and the biggest positive, as I say, I can take from today is that my captain's back.
How important was it to get back to level terms before the break and give the fans something to shout about at half time?
I think so. It changes the complexion, but I thought we'd done that on numerous occasions. You know, we'd utilised the long throw because we thought we'd good height, and we'd get our first contact in most of them, but the second contact, whenever on that occasion we did. And you're right, you say that, you know, when we came in at half time, it was important coming in at one each, and then we were always going to do what we did in terms of the reshuffle a wee bit in midfield area, just to deal with the rotation and to get us to pass the ball a wee bit more. But listen, there's a lot we need to work on with the team, but that's progress today in terms of, you know, stop to rot. Very much disappointed because I thought we were the team likely to go and win it. Just spoke with their manager, I think he agreed with that as well. So a little bit bittersweet, you know, we've stopped to rot, we've picked up a point today on teams, but it could have, maybe should have been 3. But again, I've got to say the biggest positive for me is that my captain's back.
Was it psychologically important to keep that gap, to maintain that gap between yourselves and St Johnstone at the bottom? Yeah, I think so. It was really important we didn't lose the game today. Of course, the key objective always is, you know, any team that I put out on the pitch, we want to win the game. And I thought second half we probably merited that to go and win the game, but again, it was important we didn't lose the game, and I felt that security today. I didn't think at any time in that second half that we were going to lose a goal. I thought we were the team, and that's the way I want to feel about my team. I want to feel that we can now go on for now at the end of the season, win 1-0s, you know, and I feel with Joe back in the team and with that experience back in the team, you know, that we're capable of doing that. And I said that to the boys now, but it's just building up our confidence. It's just making sure that we come back for that sticky patch that we've had, and hopefully that's us in the resurgence from that, and we can start looking up the way and picking up more points now. You've got a couple of weeks before you go back into league action. It's cup action next on Friday night at Tynecastle. Is that a welcome relief, and maybe just give the players a bit of relief and ease as to, okay, it's a one-off game? Of course it is, but you know, our objective at the start of the season, you know, was in terms of cup competitions, getting as far as we can. We want to get to Hampden, and I don't see why we can't. You know, we're facing a Hearts team. They're a good side at Tynecastle, but we're more than capable of winning that game if we make sure we do a lot of the right things, you know, and we'll prepare for that. You know, you're right, you say a wee bit of rest from the league, but we'll very much look towards that game as something that we can achieve and get to Hampden.
Tony Docherty there. Dundee 1, St Johnstone 1, Rangers 1, Motherwell 2, Ross County 1, Kilmarnock 0, half time in Paisley, St Mirren 1, Celtic 2. Steve McGinn and Pat Bonner are there for us. Stephen, it's got to be a real frustration for Stephen Robinson getting behind at the break. There were a lot of positives in that first half.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've been excellent. They worked so hard, and but not only, I think they've had the best chances in the game. Really dangerous. I think Toyisi Olasanya, if he goes with his left foot, I think he scores. Even that one just before the break, I think that's a massive chance against Celtic. The type of opportunities you just can't pass up. It's been a tough night for young Alabioso. He's tried to deal differently with the second one and just lunged too early and probably at fault for both goals. But there's still lots for Stephen Robinson to be positive about in terms of being in the game, a real threat with Olasanya. And the big question now is, with Ayunga being injured, the last couple of games have went with Ayunga with Olasanya to come on, is how many minutes can they get out of Olasanya today?
Yeah, it's been a very encouraging first half performance, Pat, from the home side, but we find Celtic ahead at the break. No doubt at all it was a clear penalty, really coolly tucked away by Arne Engels. What did you make of the first half performance from Celtic?
No, listen, I think Celtic had plenty of possession at times, but it was possession from one side of the pitch across to the other side. Tried to penetrate a few times, but didn't really create a lot. The 2 goals kind of almost out of nothing. But St Mirren absolutely had the better chances. They had almost 4 gilt-edged chances that at least you've got to score one of them. And then there will be a completely different context that we would be talking about for the second half. Celtic have they'll be very happy that they're 2-1 up. They won't be happy with the free kick they give away, and then of course it was a brilliant free kick, I've got to say. It was a magnificent free kick. I don't think any goalkeeper would have stopped it because it had pace, powers right up in the corner off the crossbar post. From that perspective, it puts St Mirren back in, and they deserved it. They absolutely deserved it. And really, I just talking here at half time, I think they should be in the lead because of the chances they've had. But that's the game, and if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, and you know what Celtic are like, give them half chances, they'll score. They have the players, they can do it, and that. But there will be chances again in the second half. It'll go from end to end. The bit that Celtic have struggled with is that ball in behind. There is no question. You know, they've been good enough on you know, they passed the ball quite well today when they've had the ball. St Mirren just dropping back, making it difficult for them to penetrate them. But as soon as St Mirren get the ball, the first thing in their mind was just play that ball in behind, down the side of the centre halves, or behind the fullbacks. And with the pace of Alessandro up front, he's given them so much problems. And Schmeichel come up with 2 magnificent saves, I've got to say.
Yeah, he's got incredible pace, no doubt at all about that one, Stephen. Aside from potential personnel changes, the tactical approach from Stephen Robinson, nothing changes there?
Yeah, I think it'll be like the first half was. He'll expect Celtic to probably start again strong, maybe hang in. But if they can get this game to around about the 65-70 minute mark and it's still 2-1, obviously in an ideal scenario they go out and get the equaliser. But if this gets to 65-70, I think I don't think you'll have to make the players believe there's something there for them. I think you could sense in the game, they grew in the game, and I think the timing of the goal was so disappointments. I think if you run down the tunnel there at 1 each as a St Mirren player, and I know I've played against Celtic a lot, it's the time you run down and think, how's this second half, how long's this going to be? But they players will run down thinking there's something there for us, so they have to keep that belief, and that's Stephen Robinson, his coach's job, to make sure that they stay tight enough that they can get this game down to the last 20 minutes and still be in it.
Yeah, I can see the teams coming back out, as you'd expect. Celtic dominating possession, 77%, but as Pat said, the better opportunities have come for the home side. 8 shots to Celtic, 6, 4 on target for Stephen Robinson's side, but they'll have to fight their way back here against the champions. Time now for second half commentary from Paisley. St Mirren against Celtic with Steve McGinn, Pat Bonnet and Liam McLeod.
Celtic have won their last 4 games in Paisley and 8 of their last 10 trips along the motorway. The short journey from Glasgow to face St Mirren. Brendan Rodgers' record, this is his 11th go at St Mirren. He's won 9 out of the previous 10. There was a goalless draw here in September 2018. Olivier Ncham was sent off in the first half of that one. That's the only time that Brendan Rodgers has dropped anything against St Mirren. There was a Scottish Cup tie in amongst all that as well, which I think Brendan Rodgers was fairly complimentary of Jack Ross. Stephen McGinn, back in those days, as Celtic kick off the second half, going left to right in the green and white hoops. St Mirren in the black and white stripes. Do they have a way back to pick up even a point, which I think Stephen Robinson would be quite happy with? I think if you'd said to Stephen Robinson before this run of 3 matches, Rangers and Hearts away, Celtic at home, and if they picked up 4 points, he would have taken that.
Absolutely. I mean, it'd be a big success. Really punishing week in terms of the difficulty of the game, but I think the performance was so good at Tynecastle the other night. I don't think they deserved to lose. The lapse of concentration from Richard Taylor brought Hearts back into it, and from then on Hearts have the quality to go on and win the game. But I think the performance was as positive as anything that they achieved at Ibrox.
Celtic going left to right towards their own fans. No further changes. Scales came on for trusty St Mirren, going with the same 11. We'll get through that in a second. It's Maida though for Celtic at the left angle of the box. He rolls it back to Hatate, who then goes back to McGregor. Low ball out to the left hand side for Sloop, along the 18-yard line for Hatate, but his pass back out wide is cut out by Alabiusu. Now it's Scales to McGregor, and then to Johnston in the central position, and back to Scales. St Mirren with Hemming in goal, Fraser, Gogic, Taylor, Alabiusu, Phillips, Boyd, Muntz, O'Hara and John across the middle with Olasanya and Mandron up front. Celtic with Schmeichel in goal, Johnston, Carter Vickers, Scales, who came on for trusty, and Sloop with Engels, McGregor, Hatate in the middle, Kuhn, Maida, Ida. And it is St Mirren on the ball. Boyd Muntz back to Taylor. It's away from Kuhn, launches it forward with the left foot. The cushion header away by Carter Vickers, and now it's Engels looking for McGregor. One back by John, but Celtic have it back in double quick time, and Hatate does well, just drifts away from Boyd Muntz. His ball forwards cut out by Marcus Fraser though. Fraser gets away from Sloop, down that right hand side he goes. Hatate comes to meet him, rolled infield for Mandron, then back to Phillips. And he squares it in there to Boyd Muntz, and then back out wide right. St Mirren come forward with Alabiusu. He's managed to get his cross ball in. O'Hara was almost on the end of it, knocked half away, but then into the net. Vickers! He's caught it and found the top left corner as he loops it over Kasper Schmeichel. And for the second time this evening, St Mirren are back level against the champions. St Mirren 2, Celtic 2.
That goal's all about Albioso. We wondered how the young lad would react at half-time. The disappointment, as he said, he had his head in his hands at the end of the first half. But that's what he's good at. He's good going forward. Stephen Robinson wanted to bring in an attacking right wing back, and that's him at his best. I think Alistair Johnston's got to do better at the goal pack. He's almost gambled by just heading to the edge of the box. Phillips will hit balls a lot clearer than he's hit it there, but the way he's hit it, the bounce of the ball was did for Kasper Schmeichel. And as I say, what a start to the second half of St Mirren.
That was a great cross, brilliant cross in. And when he's headed it, everybody kind of almost stopped and allowed Killian Phillips to almost get decent contact. But listen, he plays it into the ground and it bounces all the way over Kasper Schmeichel. I don't think the goalkeeper again had any chance with it because of the nature of the bounce. It just takes it into almost the top corner off his right hand and shoulder, and he had no chance to save it, but puts St Mirren back in this game. Well, we did say there was going to be chances, there was going to be opportunities, and it falls to St Mirren in this occasion.
And for a second time, they've come from behind. Real resilience shown by the home team, but here comes Celtic, and it's Johnston. Rolls it to Kuhn, the right angle of the St Mirren box. Johnston the overlap, finds him, low ball back across. That's looped for goal as well by Engels, but Hemming holds on. Good play by Celtic down this right-hand side. But Engels couldn't find the net this time. St Mirren equalise it for the second time very early in the second half. It's the ideal start to proceedings in the second 45 for Stephen Robinson down there. And as Stephen McGinn was saying there, that's helped make up for the penalty concession from Alabiusu's. Brilliant play down the right by him. So positive.
Absolutely, and here they are on the attack again.
O'Hara, he's managed to slip it to Olasanya. Left-hand side of the Celtic box. Now he's been forced all the way outside the area on this left-hand side. Rolls it out to the touchline for Declan John. Challenged well by Kuhn, and out of play for a St Mirren throw-in about level with the Celtic 6-yard line on this near side.
I thought O'Hara could have had a shot himself on that occasion. You know, the space opened up for him, he broke forward. Elyounoussi was on his left-hand side. I don't think the defender could have come out to block him, and I think he could have got a shot away. I know it was maybe 20, maybe 23 yards out, but have a go.
There's a long throw-in coming up into the Celtic box from Phillips, who's just scored for Saints. 50 on the clock, 2-2, and it comes. It's Carter Vickers, he gets a head onto it, and Kuhn lashes it clear up towards halfway. Gogic on it in the centre circle, rolls it to Taylor to his left. Taylor forward for John, doesn't get anything onto it. Mandron might get there. And St Mirren, what a free kick, but it's going to go behind for a goal kick instead. Stephen Robinson's having a word with the fourth official, George Calder, down below us, asking for a free kick. That's not coming quite clearly. Will be a goal kick to Celtic only. Saints 2, Celtic 2 now. Scales finds Schlupp over on the left-hand side. And what we've got here is a very entertaining game.
Yeah, it's a good game, and lots of chances in the game, lots of action and goal mouth situations. Obviously 4 goals.
Long ball from Carter Vickers. Ida tries to chest it into the path of Kuhn, but it breaks to Richard Taylor. Kuhn wins it back quickly, looking to nick it through towards Maida. Fraser had to get there and does. Maida was in behind him. Celtic's top scorer. Here comes Saints down that right-hand side, and it's the giant figure of Phillips again on the right, gets the ball across, cut out by Scales, and then an effort, a goal from Alabius, who's held on to by Schmeichel. I'll have to say, Brendan Rodgers will be concerned with the number of chances that his Celtic team have been coughing up in the last few games. Easter Road last week, Aberdeen during the week, though that didn't affect the outcome of the game in the end, ultimately. And then tonight.
Yeah, and now, listen, it's down to the opposition too, and the opposition, you know, St Mirren, I think they've done really well in this game so far from a creative point of view.
Johnston finds Ede up the other end, right-hand side of the box, low ball back, cut out by Fraser, out for a Celtic throw-in on this near side. It's kind of raging from one end to the other right now. The throw-in will be taken here by Johnston on the Celtic right as they attack the goal to our right, right at the back of the main stand, up high above Brendan Rodgers' dugout technical area. It's to the right of that, and it will be Johnston. This is level with the Saints' penalty spot, I think, just about. And the time he takes this, short to Hatate, to Johnston, and back up the line for Engels. Side foot to Scales. Scales finds Schlup. On the left of the centre circle, back to Scales, forward to McGregor. McGregor out to Jeffrey Schlup again, and then down the line for Maida. Maida finds Schlup. Two apiece here. Scales picks up and finds Carter Vickers. Not often you see Celtic take the lead twice in a match and get pegged back on both occasions. Here's Hatate to McGregor, and then out to that left-hand side for Maida. Maida, the underlapping Schlup at the byline, looks to win the corner. He hasn't done. He's come up in last and behind for a St Mirren goal kick.
Yeah, it's good tracking, isn't it? Is it about months, is it? That was
Marcus Fraser.
Oh, it was Marcus Fraser, really experienced player. So he read the situation. He knew that ball was going to be played in behind, and he just tracked Maeda and just used all of that experience to win his goal kick.
Sorry, while you're saying that the experience, Packy, that's what Alabioso didn't do. Marcus Fraser, he's played hundreds and hundreds of games for St Mirren. He knows not to dive in, and he knows when he can put his leg out. He stays really firm and ends up winning a goal kick, not just conceding a corner.
With a Celtic ball inside their own half, McGregor rolling it to Schlup to his left, then back to Scales. And then Schlup on the left-hand side, low ball forward, Engels with the dummy, it's Gogic with the challenge, and out it goes for a throw-in over on the far side. Celtic have kind of swatted St Mirren away on a regular basis recently. In the last 6 they won 3-0 3 times, but it's St Mirren who are doing the attacking here, and Mandron at the edge of the box is a shot. He kind of scuffs it goal, and it's a comfortable enough save for Schmeichel down to his right, but it's another shot and target for Saints, albeit Mandron's pulled up after taking the shot, so
it's too easy for him to get a shot away, to be honest. You know, Liam's got to go, Liam Scales has got to go tighter on there and make sure he doesn't get a shot away, because it was across the goalkeeper and forced the goalkeeper to dive and have to make the save.
This would be a big worry for St Mirren. Mika Mandron's been a huge player for St Mirren. I think it's arguably the best spell he's had as a St Mirren player. He's really been the focal point, and as I said, with the injury to Jonah Ayunga, they're already short in the attacking options, and that pace that the three of them have. Just on Celtic, the narrative coming out of January, we were all wondering what would Celtic look like without Kyogo. I think in a short space of time, Celtic look like a poorer team without Jota in it. You're just looking now, from a St Mirren point of view, you just want to keep Jota warming up there, because they look as if they go up a level when Jota plays on the left and Maida's through the middle.
I just underline the point Stephen's making there about Mikael Mandron. He scored 6 goals this season. 5 of them have come in the last 6 games. That's how important he is. The double at Pataudry, scored in the draw here against Hearts in the Cup.
I think
he's scored his last 2 at Rangers and at Hearts, but it looks as though St Mirren are going to be forced into a change here.
They don't have a like for like, so the wonder is, do they go that extra midfielder, they stay in the game maybe for the next 20 minutes and maybe go Greg Kelty. I think Greg Kelty and James Scott being called back. Not sure what one he'll go for, but you've either keep the 2 strikers, or do you go Kelty and drop one in and keep Olasanya up high?
Yeah, Mandron's evening's over by the looks of it. 56 on the clock. Saints 2, Celtic 2.
Yeah, it looks like James Scott is going to come on, and kind of almost a like for like, but Mandron being the one that with the goal touch at this moment in time.
He's tweaked something in the act of shooting there, hasn't he?
He has.
By the look of it.
Yeah, it's a big blow. The toll it takes these games, the 3 huge games physically for St Mirren, what they've put into Ibrox and Tynecastle. But this probably shows you where Stephen Robinson's at in the game, that he goes like for like with the striker, as opposed to maybe a bit more negative thinking in terms of putting Kelty on.
Here comes Celtic, attacking the goal to the right, the Glasgow airport end if you like, and it's played back to Schlup, into McGregor, back to Schlup, it goes all the way back to Scales. A bit too negative for the Celtic supporters liking that, but it is the runaway league leaders in possession here with Carter Vickers, who finds Scales. Scales left of the centre circle for Schlup, and out to Hatate, and then Scales finds Carter Vickers. Out to Nicolas Kuhn on this near side. take on O'Hara. O'Hara sticks the boot out, but Kuhn still has it, and he'll get at the very least a free kick here. Oh, it's got a goal kick. Well, he's not gone to ground. He's tried to stay on his feet, Kuhn, and for whatever reason, that's worked against him there. It looked like that was a foul.
Yeah,
and a free kick to Celtic, right-hand side of the box. Scott on for Mandron.
Yeah, it was a foul because it inhibited him from getting to the ball. And he, as you say, he tried to stay on his feet to go after the ball, but he couldn't get there, so it's definitely a foul.
Strange decision.
I can't even put up a case for it not being a foul.
There you go. It will be a goal kick to St Mirren. He will be happy with that because Kuhn was coming forward with menace. Long ball from Zach Hemming to a piece in Paisley. Johnston's caught. Olasanya unwittingly there. Olasanya was stooping low. Johnston had his eyes on the ball. He went to boot it away, and I think he's ended up clocking Olasanya instead of the ball.
Yeah,
free kick St Mirren.
I don't think there was any malice at all.
Well, they're checking for a possible red here, Packy. So
I can't understand that. It's one of them where the ball's bounced, the guy's come from your left-hand side, he's going to volley the ball back up the pitch, and to be honest, Olasanya was brave to almost go for the ball.
That check's been cleared, by the way.
Yeah.
Now, Johnston's got eyes for the ball only there. Olasanya's pace has got him into a position where he could potentially get his head onto it. He's ended up taking a blow to the head.
I think the game here relies on Taisi Olasanya being able to do the 95 minutes. With, as I said, with the younger injury, Mandron going off, they need the 95 off him here because he is the one player that's stopping Celtic hemming St Mirren in.
This is a real chance for them, though. Put it into an area, free kick.
We're in minute 60. 2-2. Declan John, who scored their first equaliser from a free kick outside the box. We'll try and find a teammate with this one. It's more out to the left. Bends it into a really good area. A couple of players get a touch onto it, and he goes behind for the corner.
That's a brilliant ball. It's a brilliant ball. It's one where you wonder, could the goalkeeper come for it? Probably not. It's not that high. It's not the...
Checking for a penalty here as well, by the way.
Yeah.
The VAR team.
Yeah, difficult for us to see it, and there was a big shout at the back post for a penalty, but it was a brilliant ball. Anybody getting on the end of that, I think it's going to go in the back of the net. Just
that check's been cleared. St Mirren fans, it's just been announced to the St Mirren fans. They were getting very excited there. Yes, in comes the corner. I'll explain that in a minute. In it comes, is headed away by Ida, and then flicked clear. Celtic managing to get that away. Killian Phillips hooking it over the head, and then cleared by Scales this time, heads away. Still St Mirren have it with John, but he's put it out for a throw-in on the far side. Yeah, I mean, the stadium announcers here, they're finding out about these VAR checks, and as soon as they finish the sentence, the check's been cleared. So he's got all the St Mirren fans very excited for a second there, but there you go. That came and went pretty quickly for them. 2 apiece here in Paisley, and it's a clearance from Liam Scales into the St Mirren half. Taylor's underneath it, nods it forward. Now it's O'Hara driving up towards the Celtic box. Checks, turns, and plays it back to Keelan Boyd Muntz, who finds Taylor. Taylor then stepping forward and striding up towards the edge of the Celtic penalty area. He's a couple of touches off Celtic players towards Olasanya, but it breaks to Johnston. Now McGregor for Engels, and forward to Hatate. Well played out by Celtic there, though Hatate's ball's cut out by the sliding Phillips. And then back by Boyd Muntz to Gogic, then back to Hemming. 61 on the clock. Stephen Robinson will feel his team's pretty comfortable in the game here.
Very comfortable, and you know, Celtic are not creating from any possession that they have had. Just that one chance for Kuhn to maybe get down the right-hand side here, but nothing came of it. So, yeah, I would anticipate, I'm looking at Brendan Rodgers in there, he's pointing for Jota, and to see can he be the one that's going to go out there and create something for them.
Jota will be on momentarily. Just a little point, I'll remind you in a couple of minutes, there will be a split on BBC Radio Scotland. Take the Floor will be on BBC Radio Scotland 92 to 95 FM after the news at 7, so that's in 2 minutes from now. I will remind you, on digital, on 810 medium wave, and on Extra, we will be continuing with the football here. where it is St Mirren 2, Celtic 2 on 62. Saints have it forward here with Killian Phillips, right-hand side of the Celtic box. He's done brilliantly, lifts it back across. Headed up into the air by Johnston, more height than distance. Flick clear by Schlupp. Alabayusu trying to get onto it in the far side. He's going to leave it here to Fraser. Looks up at the Celtic box, gets the ball in, cleared by Scales. This time, St Mirren looking to get their noses in front for the first time this evening, and you have to say they've been the better team since the break.
Yeah, most of the players in the Celtic half, you got to say.
Yeah, and down the right, it's Saints again. Fraser, Phillips gets the cross in. Lasagna with a header, he's off target. This manager's down here holding his head in his hands because he knows that's a huge opportunity. This game's there to be won for St Mirren. They must feel that right now.
Absolutely, and they're sustaining attacks. They had Celtic pinned in. They're making the decision maybe not to put it out for a corner, and they're giving St Mirren that chance to put 2 and 3 balls into the box. And Patricio Lasagna's free there. I think it would take a hell of a header to beat Kasper Schmeichel from where he was, but he was free at the back post.
He's got inside Johnson, hasn't he? You know, and Johnson needs to get goal side of him.
Change is being made here, and I think Luke McCowan might be coming on as well for Celtic. Ida off, Jota on, and Luke McCowan is going to come on for Callum McGregor. The skipper's going off. Right, choice of listening for you now on BBC Radio Scotland. Stay tuned to Extra Digital 810 medium wave, and we will bring you the rest of this match. St Mirren 2, Celtic 2, 64 just about played. But a 92 to 95 FM, Take the Floor will be coming up on BBC Radio Scotland. That's after the news at 7 o'clock. Here we stay in Sports Sound and Extra.
If Celtic put 2 on and take 3 off here, oh, here comes Yang, sorry.
Yang, yeah, well, actually, McCowan, Yang and Jota have all come on. As I said, McGregor's come off, as has Ida. And Yang has come on for Kuhn, so that's the alterations. Pat Bonner.
Yeah, and I think as Ingles will step into that sort of holding midfield player with McCowan almost taking his position higher up the pitch. It's just a change to see, can they get some sort of rhythm in this game, Celtic?
High ball by Killian Phillips to the edge of the Celtic box, which is headed away by Johnston. Maida giving chase on this near side. Little back heel's done brilliantly again, dies in Maida. You're tired just watching him. And he just goes on and on and on. The Roadrunner.
I just think he has to play up front for Celtic now. He's the level, even in that period there, he runs onto his own flick off, he lays it off and he's in spinning behind it. He's just at such a high level. I think he's just got to go and be the Celtic centre forward now.
I think he'd relish that. Celtic throw, Johnston over it. This is actually a rare occasion since the break that Celtic have been in the attacking third here. Johnston finds McCowan with the throw. McCowan then returns it to Johnston. Cross comes Gogic, flag's gone up, free kick, offside. Free kick Saints. 2-2 in Paisley approaching the final quarter. Paki Bora.
Yeah, there was a free kick actually. He was holding on to Gogic and the assistant on this side here gave the free kick, and the referee responded. So takes the heat off. You did say that Celtic were in the opponent's half for the first time for a while, but now they've lost that initiative, and St Mirren have got it back.
St Mirren are at their best when Alex Gogic is playing like that. He's on the front foot, he's reading things, he's stepping into it, because that was a decent situation for Celtic. But Alex Gogic's almost like an old-fashioned sweeper. He's came in and stepped in and won his side of foul.
Long ball forward then from the free kick from Hemming. Breaks to Johnston though, hoists it forward, and then Gogic breaks up the attack by fouling Maida. The little body check, and the yellow card's out for the first time this evening. And it goes to Gogic. It's St Mirren 2, Celtic 2.
Professional foul. You know that he can't match Maida's pace, but he did have a bit of cover, but he's just using that experience to just block him off, and he's got booked for himself.
Yeah, he just took his suit there, didn't he? He was not protesting. Free kick Celtic then. It's almost at the midway point of the Saints half, about 10 yards from this near side touchline. Engels back into the centre circle for Scales. He finds Schlupp, and out to that left-hand side for a first feel of the ball for Jota, as he turns it back to Scales. Forward to Engels, under pressure there, and he's taken a sore one. It's Phillips with a challenge, and Phillips is going to find himself booked as well here. Now, Engels got himself into bother with a poor touch, and Killian Phillips felt the ball was there to be won.
Yeah.
And he doesn't feel it's a foul, let alone a yellow, but he's been booked for the reckless challenge.
Yeah, I didn't think it was much in it. Yeah, maybe a foul, but not a booking, because the ball was loose, and it wasn't a great pass from Scales in to Ingles. Ingles miscontrolled, got away from him, and again, Killian Phillips had every right to go for the ball.
It's one of those that you're half second away from actually winning the ball as a midfielder, but that half second, Ingles just gets that ball away, and all of a sudden goes from you winning the ball to a foul, and that's, I think, he's more frustration than his point than anything.
It's the booking though that is not called for, I don't think.
Here's Yang for Celtic, rolls it infield to Engels, squares it to Schlup, out to the left for Jota. Jota will have a go at Alabayusu here. It's a new challenge for the St Mirren defender. Now it's with Hatate. Hatate looks up at the St Mirren box. He spots Yang, who hits home! Brilliantly taken by Yang! It's an outstanding cross ball in from the far side, and Yang with an expert header to beat Hemming at full stretch, and for a third time this evening, Celtic lead in Paisley. St Mirren 2, Celtic 3.
You could see it, you know, we're sitting up here in the stand, you could see the almost he was given Hatate the almost a nod to put it in there, and it was Declan John, I think, was at the back post, a wing back. He didn't know where he was, he didn't know, he can almost ran off his shoulder, and it was a great finish, great play between the two of them. Good header for a winger to beat Hemming, but the defender just didn't know what he was doing, the back post.
You can see Stephen Robinson's frustration, because it's the sort of work you do all week, Monday to Friday, in terms of that back five structure, and when the ball's on the other side, that tucking in wing back, becoming a full back, and just not ball watching, always staying on, square on with your man, take nothing away from Rio Hatate, who I think's been excellent. And by the way, it's a great header from Yang, because it had to be. I think Hemming has it covered if it's not as good a header.
The handball there by Olasanya in the Celtic box, though the flag for offside's gone up anyway. I mean, that cross from Hatate is pinpoint.
Yeah, and for a winger, somebody coming on the end of it, all you've got to almost do is just kind of direct it on goal, isn't it? Would have said to your head. You don't have to take any pace off it or anything like that. Just get it into the corner, and it was a great header.
Luke McCowan for Celtic rolls it out with the left foot to the right hand side for Yang. It's an early ball in, and Gogic gets rid of it, and Zach Hemming would have had that one, and Gogic left it. But Gogic, I guess, if you don't know for sure, if you're not 100%, you deal with it.
How can Alex Gogic leave that when Maida's about? You know what I mean? That might be the say it's Adamida, and maybe he just lets his goalie come onto it, but Dyson Maida, you just can't take that chance, and you have to put it out the park.
Totally agree, Stephen.
Here come Celtic, little back heel from Johnston. Yang's inside the box, finds Hatate, good footwork, Hatate across, blocked, and it pops back to the penalty spot for McCowan, whose effort's blocked on the line by Alabayusu, and it somehow stays out and goes behind, though all of that's inconsequential because there's an offside flag on this near side, so it stays St Mirren 2, Celtic 3, 20 left of the 90.
Yeah, they've just upped the pace now with Yang coming on, haven't they? McCowan also getting involved, the two substitutions, and making a real impact in this game.
This has been some turnaround, actually, in the way this game's going since the changes that Brendan Rodgers has made.
Yeah, give a bit of credit to Yang as well, who's reignited his Celtic career. But I think this Celtic team are at a different level with Dyson Maida through the middle.
It's had the desired effect for sure. It's in the midfield here, St Mirren battling for it. Keelan Boyd-Muntz has it out to this left-hand side. It's dinked forward by John, away by Johnston though. Engels completes the clearance into the St Mirren half, where it's met by the head of Richard Taylor. Gogic steps forward, wins it ahead of Maida, and John plays it off McCowan. Up the line it goes. Johnston down the line for Yang in the St Mirren half now. It is Hatate stabbing it to his left for Schlup, and then out to Jota. Celtic playing with more energy, more panache about this performance just in the last 5-10 minutes, and they are back in front thanks to that header from Yang. It's an outstandingly taken goal by Yang. He's the highlights of this game and the other 3 Premiership matches which took place at 3 o'clock on Sportscene, which is getting underway at 15:15, so another 8 minutes that will be on air. And then tomorrow here on Sports Sound, 2 huge games in the battle for Europe, battle for third. Hibs Hearts, third Edinburgh derby of the season, 12:30 kickoff. live here in BBC Radio Scotland. Aberdeen, Dundee United, 3 o'clock kick-off at Pittodrie. That's a massive game too. Heading into the final furlong. Here comes Celtic. It's McCowan bowling it to Hatate, to the right of the St Mirren box, trying to shield it from Gogic. No mean feat that. Yang on the stretch, gets it back to Johnston, the right angle of the box. It is Maida, gets it into the path of McCowan, but it's swept clear by Marcus Fraser. O'Hara for St Mirren, gets it through here to James Scott, who's driving across the halfway line and driving down the left here, the St Mirren left, looks to get the ball in with a brilliant back tracking by Engels, who wins it back for Celtic with a challenge on Scott, who just couldn't quite release the cross quickly enough, and it stays Saints 2, Celtic 3.
There's no doubt that the tempo has gone up from Celtic just in the last period since those subs came on, and that he's got the desired effect from making those changes. Brendan Rodgers getting their goal, which takes a little bit of pressure off. There'll still be opportunities for St Mirren, but just Celtic are just moving the ball so much quicker now.
Good shooting from Celtic this season. They've only had more points than 72 after 28 games 3 times in the last decade. Postecoglou had them on more 2 years ago under Lennon in 2020 and before the pandemic hit, and then in Brendan Rodgers' first season 2017. They're potentially going to finish just a few points off the record points tally they amassed that term, as Hatate drives up to the edge of the box and finds McCowan, whose effort saved initially by Hemming. Maida trying to keep it alive, which he has done against the odds, maybe not against the odds in his case. McCowan back to the edge of the box for Johnston. Then to the right angle, McCowan, left-footed shot blocked by Taylor, breaks to Hatate.
The reaction from Maeda there when Hemmings saved that ball, it trickled away from him. But the first player, and he was almost about 2 yards behind everybody else, and he got to the ball to keep it alive, which was incredible.
It's hard to describe it other than it was about a 90-10 to Declan John, and I think he's thought there's absolutely no way he can get to there, and he actually gets there, and he keeps it in and plays to a Celtic player. It's really something special to watch him in full flight.
Yeah, Maida's work rate's outstanding. First minute to last, as long as he's on the pitch, he's a buzz bomb. Throw into St Mirren on this near side, Richard Taylor to take. Saints just have to get through this little storm that's coming their way, or has been coming their way in the last 10 minutes or so, and hope that they're still just one behind going into the closing stages. Here they come now though, Olasanya down the left-hand side, Engels with a challenge, but behind for a St Mirren corner.
What you would say, if you're Stephen Robinson at half-time, would you have taken 2-1 down the way the game was at half-time? Would you have taken that with 15 minutes to go? I think you would.
So it's not really changed then?
Yes, so it's not really changed from that. So it's important to recognise that, and there's still something there for them as long as they don't concede that fourth.
It is a corner though to St Mirren. Never mind Celtic scoring a fourth. Can Saints find a third equaliser? Mark O'Hara with the corner, in swinger with the right foot towards the back post. The header's in! Oh no, it's not, it's just gone wide. Wow, that looked like it was going into the back of the net from Richard Taylor as he rose 6 yards from goal.
Oh,
and it squirmed just wide. I thought it was in. It stays Saints 2, Celtic 3.
To get up and head the ball almost level with the back post and put it past the front post from almost, 4 or 5 yards out? Takes some doing. I thought that was in the back of the net.
I think he's got to score. It actually looked more likely to go in than Kelly Phillips' goal. It's one of those, it's a brilliant delivery from Mark O'Hara. He's rose well, you're just waiting for the net to bulge.
Here's the Tate up the other end for Celtic. This is what Celtic do to you. He's found Yang and he scores!
Offside.
Flags up, and Brendan Rodgers, he did both hands in the air. He's pointing with his finger in celebration, but that one doesn't count, at least not yet.
No, I think the assistant's probably right. He just went a yard too early. He was desperate for the pass. And McCowan made a run forward initially. He was offside, so the pass was delayed. And then when that ball's played, just maybe a half yard off.
It's been confirmed, by the way, so he was offside. It's a good decision by the assistant, Callum Spence, on this near side. So he'll be quite happy with his work there, the linesman. It's a good finish by Yang as well, though.
He's made some impact, hasn't he? He's made some impact, Stephen, since he's come on, Yang.
Saints changes here. Stephen McGinn, just having a look down there. Greg Kilty is going to come on. I think we thought we would have seen him a little bit earlier. And Owen Aseni will come on too, the 21-year-old. So Phillips comes off, and Olasanya doesn't have 95 minutes in him. Stephen, he's off.
Yeah, it's the type of player he is. A lot of these works explosive, as opposed to maybe doing the 95 minutes every week, and with such a challenging week. But like for like, Kilkie in for Phillips, who looked as if he was tiring, and Oseni, who was bought in January. I know he's a project, and Stephen Robinson's wanting to work with him long term, but big chance for him here to announce himself as a St Mirren player.
Johnston with the throw in back into his own box for Carter Vickers, who rolls it back to Schmeichel. Scott trying to close him down. Schmeichel finds Scales over on the far side. 3-2 Celtic, 77.5 on the clock. Here comes St Mirren. Oseni's on it already, he's gone down. Challenge from Schlupp, no free kick coming. Throw in only to Celtic. Over on the far side. And it's been a good reaction by Celtic. They defeated Easter Road last Sunday, which came off the back of their Champions League heartache in Munich. And the draw, which looked like it was going to be a win in 90 minutes to take it to extra time. And it's been a good reaction, beating Aberdeen, and if they can win this one, they've been involved in a battle here tonight. If they win this one, it would take them to just a few more victories to defend their league title. And as it stands, and again, depends what Rangers do, and Rangers lost today, the title could be done when Celtic go to McDermott Park at the start of next month. A few games to happen before then, of course, and that means having won the derby with Rangers in a couple of weekends' time as well for that to happen, unless, of course, Rangers drop more points. Games out with that. But anyway, Brendan Rodgers won't be thinking about that right now. Scales goes long, looking for Jota. Fraser puts it out for a throw-in over on the far side.
He did read really well there, Marcus Fraser, because he lost his footing, and he just knew he needed to put that out of the direction of Jota, who would have been clean through.
Hatate for Schlupp, then back to Hatate. Stepping away from Kiltie. It's a good run by Rio Hatate. Stephen's been waxing lyrical about him now. It's McCowan who hits the post for the left foot effort. Wonderful hit from McCowan. You would have heard it crash against the post in the background, I'm sure. Celtic have it with Hatate. He's going to let it go behind for the corner. I mean, Celtic have been irresistible in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, I know, and it was a wonderful play by Hatate, and you're right, Stephen, he's had a really good game today, real influence. I think he's actually even upped his game since the substitutions come on, and he's driving forward, and he set up McCowan there. It was a lovely shot, first time with almost a curler against the outside of the post.
Celtic corner as they try and get this game wrapped up as we tick towards the final 10 minutes of the 90. They lead 3-2 to the champions, and they will have an outswinging Arne Engels corner here to try and find a fourth, which you would think would finish St Mirren off. Here goes Engels then, into the box it comes, it's flicked away. Might be Oseni got the final touch on to that actually. St Mirren clear, Yang has it, goes back to Schlupp inside his own half, and then back to Kasper Schmeichel. And Stephen Robinson, the message you'll be getting across to his players is that if you don't concede another one, you're still very much in this. But it's Maida for Celtic as they look for this fourth goal. Now it's Maida, goes down, Jota has it, advantage given to Celtic. Yang's inside the box, back to Engels at the edge of the area, with his effort always rising over the bar. Will be a goal kick to the home team, and it will stay Saints 2, Celtic 3.
Just to pick up on, sometimes, I mean, his fellow countryman Nakamura, I played against him back in the day, and you play against Celtic Rangers players, the really good Celtic Rangers at Celtic Park at Ibrox. Everyone looks good at times when they can have a good afternoon, but it was Nakamura in a pitch maybe even worse than this, and it was a close control, and he still managed to find space. And I think Rio Hatate showed real quality at it. Even in the first half, when the game hadn't really opened up like it has now, it's just, you admire the close control in such a difficult pitch.
Marcus Fraser was booked, incidentally, just in amongst all of that. Saints have the ball in the centre circle with Gogic just rolling it to Fraser, and out to the far side for Alabayusi on the touchline. Another change coming up for St Mirren in just a moment. Might be Roland Ado, who's getting ready to come on. Headed away by Schlupp, and now it's with Engels. And Schlupp again, but he's got himself caught in a fan call, and St Mirren might be in here, and it's Oseni at the edge of the box. Took too long, it did break to, I think it was Kilty there, who hit it right of the D, but it goes high over the bar and wide. And it will stay Saints 2, Celtic 3, but it just wasn't quick enough.
He's got to hit it. It's on his favoured left foot, and it's opened up for him. And just the way the game's been for the last 5-6 minutes, you bring out a save in Kasper Schmeichel, and then you get a bit of back into the legs, because they are starting to look tired. But that little bit of impetus, momentum that he could have created by having a shot there.
Keelan Boyd-Muntz will be replaced by Idowu, and he will get the last 7.5 of the 90 that remain here in Paisley. Celtic getting closer to another 3 points. It's Liam Scales at the edge of his own box. He finds Carter Vickers, and now Johnston with the ball. Field to Engels now. It's down this right-hand touchline with McCowan. Good plays away from O'Hara, looking to test the pace of Yang. Gogic gets between the man and the ball. Yang keeps going, but it breaks to Zach Hemming, who holds on. 7 minutes to go. 3-2 Celtic, with St Mirren very much in this still.
I think that time it just shows the impact Maida has, because Gogic trusts himself that he's got the body strength, the pace to see off Yang and let Zach Hemmings come, whereas the one before, when it's Maida, he's thinking can't take any chances.
Celtic have it in the midfield. St Mirren pinch it back quickly. Now to O'Hara, to Taylor, left of the centre circle, out to Declan John on this near side. Think ball forward, controlled on the chest by Scott. John trying to get back onto it. Good challenge, Yang. Away by Johnston. Maida with a little header into the centre circle for Jota. Back for Hatate. Fabulous little flick away from O'Hara. Across the halfway line he goes. Pass isn't as good as the flick was. Straight to Alabayusu. Forward there, Roseni. Got a help ahead of him, but he's happy enough to lay it back to this left-hand side for Declan John. And down the left for Idowu. Left of the Celtic box here. No ball for Scott inside the area. It just rolled through his legs, and it goes back to Schmeichel, who smashes it clear up high into the air. Taylor's header forward, and the cushion header back by Saints from Kilty. Finds Fraser, who gets it out to that right-hand side for Alabayusu. A couple of minutes this for St Mirren as they try and find a point at least from this match. It's a poor touch over there by Aseni, though showed way too much of it to Schlup. He was right-hand side of the Celtic box too. He's in a good position. Doesn't take advantage of it. It's now back with O'Hara. Swings the cross into the Celtic area. Away by Carter Vickers out to the far side. Celtic have it with Hatate, and now Jota used to volley it from left to right-hand side of the pitch, but he's given it away. Now it's Idowu for St Mirren. McCowan trying to stick with him. Idowu's cross will be comfortable for Kasper Schmeichel at his near post, and it will stay Saints 2, Celtic 3. 85 on the clock.
Yeah, they aren't with Alessandro off. They just haven't got the same penetration, have they? You know, they're putting balls forward and hope more than anything else.
I think as well they're crossing from deep. I think when Mandron, you can get into Mandron's feet, there's always that space for Alessandro to play.
Here comes St Mirren. Alabayusu to the edge of the penalty area. He might get it back here, almost did. He's managed to keep it into the byline, swings it back across, but Schmeichel will be holding on to that all night long, which he does. A bit of pressure there, and Alistair Johnston might well have gotten his goalkeeper's way too, but it's in the gloves of the Great Dane. Celtic's 3-2 lead coming under a bit of pressure here. Schmeichel launches it forward. Gogic with a header forward. Hatate controls in the centre circle. It really has been a real flamboyant performance by Reo Hatate. And now it's Johnston, and now McCowan. McCowan finds Schlup left of the centre circle, out to the left-hand side there for Jota. Jota's got support from Schlup. He knocks it back to Arne Engels. And down the line for Schlup, and then Celtic a little bit sloppy there. Saints pick up over on the right-hand side. It's with Marcus Fraser right of the centre circle. He switches it out to John. Saints trying to make Celtic suffer here for a bit of poor play on the far side. John looking for the cross. He still has it. It's a low ball into the penalty area. St Mirren have it with Fraser. Little ball into the box, and then Johnston slides in. It's back with Schmeichel, no penalty. Certainly not according to referee Matthew McDermott at any rate.
Yeah, he was in a good position. I think he got some of the ball. That would be, he did slide in. You're taking a chance by sliding in at this stage of the game. What are you thinking, Stephen?
Yeah, I'd like to see it again, see what the VAR guys are saying, because Alistair Johnston looked clearly like he was just going to put it out for the corner, but it rolled that extra kind of half yard. That's why Dove would get a sore one.
I'm sure there's
no penalty. The check's been cleared. Schmeichel goes long. Underneath it's Gogic. Header into the midfield. It's Engels, the cushion header. Now Yang, whose header is splitting the teams right now. Outstandingly taken goal, as we say. He planted Hatate's cross beyond Zach Hemming. Give Celtic the lead for the third time tonight, and it's a lead that they're holding on to right now as we head towards the final 2 minutes of the 90 in Paisley. Johnston down the line. Yang fires it forward. First time for Maida. Can he get the requisite touch? He can. He's on the left, and he scores again. Daisen Maida's dream season continues. Wonderful ball by Yang. Maida still had loads to do at that point, but as soon as he looked up at Zach Hemming in his goal frame, you just knew what was going to happen. He looks a shoe-in for Player of the Year, does Daisen Maida, and he's just added to his huge goal tally. He's up to 26, and he's sealed the deal for the champions, who move a step closer to retaining their crown. It is St Mirren 2, Celtic 4.
An absolutely wonderful goal. Started with Hatate in the middle of the pitch, out to Yang, plays it round the corner first time, knew exactly what he was doing, into the path of Maeda, and then he...
Possible offside, by the way. They're just checking that just now.
I don't think he was offside. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. And then it's controlled to beat the defender, and then beautiful slot in past Hemming.
My gut instinct, it didn't look offside.
He's onside.
It's a brilliant pick out.
There's one more thing they're checking, but the goal has been given now. So the goal stands, and it's yet another for Maida. And again, underlining what Stephen McGinn was saying earlier, Packy, that Daisen Maida's probably the best option for Celtic through the middle right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, there's no question. Listen, he's on fire, scoring goals. I'm just wondering, I've seen Stephen Robertson having a chat with the assistant down on the sideline, and something that the assistant said to him, I don't know whether it was regarding the penalty or what, but
I think they're looking for the penalty. All clubs have the video back, the replay, so they've obviously saw something that they think was a foul.
Yeah, we've got the little tablets down there, and they're across the replays within a minute or two of them happening.
That's the Maida's a striker. That's not just...
Oh, he's onto it again here. There's a poor ball back by Edowu, but Gogic shepherds it back to his keeper. But into the first of 5 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the game here. 4-2 to Celtic. There's Jota, and now Hatate. Jota's off to his left, but Hatate's fouled, and that will be a free kick.
He's had a wonderful game, Hatate. I think it's been the best I've seen him for quite a time. On a tricky pitch, as you said, Stephen, but he's been instrumental in the way that Celtic have sort of upped the tempo in the second half. Really, really, really good. And then, of course, the changes that Celtic have made with Yang and McCowan coming on also, and then Maeda through the middle. All of those changes, I think, have allowed Celtic to really, as you described earlier, Liam, play really well in this last probably 20 minutes of the game.
They've been slick since the subs. Little spell for St Mirren there just before Celtic's fourth, but a slick performance by the champions since the changes. They've got this free kick. Engels and McCowan are over it. Remember, McCowan hit the post earlier as well. It's been a game of plenty of opportunities for both sides. Engels takes, then right-footed straight into the wall. Will break the Schluck, gets it across. Jota with a little touch, and Hemming eventually holds on, but he might well have been offside anyway. He played one of the 5 minutes at the end of the game. Stephen Robinson will think it's harsh on his team, Stephen. They've had plenty chances themselves.
Yeah, I think when he reflects on it, he'll be really proud of his performance. I think they've been super organised, really dangerous. I think there's been lots of good individual performances, but the message will be, when you're playing against Celtic, you just can't afford to miss the chances that they created in the first half.
As Packy was kind of hinting at earlier on, they've got a good run of fixtures coming up, potentially. And the other teams they'll be playing will have other ideas, but they've got a trip to Motherwell up next before they host Kilmarnock, with games at Dundee and here against Ross County to complete their fixture list up until the split. They've got a free kick here, Declan John into the Celtic box, played across towards the back post. Nobody can get the touch on it. Flags up anyway. Free kick Celtic. 4-2 Celtic. 3 minutes of the stoppages left.
I'll tell you what, Celtic will be very happy that they've got away with this one today, because of the chances that St Mirren have created. I would have expected at least one of them, if not two, to be in the back of the net. It was big saves from Schmeichel at critical, and that was critical times, wasn't it? You know, but then Celtic, you've got to give them real praise for the way that they've almost finished the game in the last sort of 20-25 minutes. They've been the dominant side.
Scottish Cup weekend next week, of course, Stephen. So St Mirren, at least it's been a busy week. Obviously, they'd rather be in the Cup, but what they've got now is, I suppose, a chance to recharge the batteries. As Schlupp looks to get the cross in, he's found Yang and he's got another one! Yang with another header! And Celtic score in second half, stoppage time, to absolutely underline their dominance. Again, they haven't played brilliantly across the 90-odd minutes, but they've scored 5 goals again. That's no mean feat here in Paisley. It is St Mirren 2, Celtic 5.
And 2 goals from a winger that you wouldn't expect with his head. 2 goals and another really good header, kept his eye on the ball. What a brilliant cross though from Schlupp. But again, you would expect a defender to be alive and be able to defend out of the back post. They weren't, but that's taken nothing away from Yang's anticipation and getting his head in the ball to score his second goal. And he deserves it.
I was really critical of Declan John for Yang's first goal, but I think that's the quality of Jeffrey Schlupp. I've played in England, I know there's a big demand on that type of ball to hang up at the back post, and it was precision. Yang couldn't miss, it was absolutely on the money.
Off comes Maida, replaced by Johnny Kenny, but there's just about a minute left of this. A little bit on top of that because of that. Yang, his second, Celtic's 5th. And as Pat was saying, another well-taken header by Yang. That'll be pleasing for him personally, but for his manager too, because they've been desperate to get Yang going, and he's on it again, and he's on a hat-trick. He's got it past Declan John. Taylor gets back between the man and the ball and batters it onto the roof of the main stand.
Well, you know, we've watched Yang for quite a while now, and I haven't seen that type. I did see a little bit when against, I think, Bayern Munich at home when he came on in that period. Whether his fitness level has gone up or whatever, but his energy tonight has been sensational since he's come onto the pitch, and an end product, a real end product to what he's doing.
He started in Germany as well, didn't he? Anyway, it's the final few seconds of the game. Yang on the ball, finds Hatate. This is the last chance to add to the scoring. Hatate, but there is the final whistle. It's victory for Celtic, and they are just a few games away from the title now. They've come to Paisley and won 5-2 in what was a difficult game for them. Like Aberdeen during the week, St Mirren had lots of opportunities but could only take 2 of them, and it simply wasn't enough as Celtic went through the gears as the game went on. The changes from Brendan Rodgers had the desired effect too. They led through Schlupp on 28 minutes when his effort across the bows of the goalkeeper hit the back post and ricocheted into the net. Those Saints were level within a few minutes. Declan John's outstanding free kick from outside the box clipped the underside of the bar, and it was 1-1, though Celtic did get their lead back before the break, after a careless challenge from Alabayusu, bringing down Maida. Engels stroked the penalty home, and Celtic led 2-1 at the half-time interval. Then the changes came. Yang scoring either side of a Maida goal. McCowan hit the post as well. St Mirren had their chances, and before that 4th Celtic goal, they felt they should have had a penalty up the other end. But when all is said and done, Celtic have won on a day where Rangers have lost again. They're 16 points clear at the top of the Premiership. And if they win the derby, another 3 will do it for the reigning champions, and they could win the league at St Johnstone at the start of next month. It finished here in Paisley. St Mirren 2, Celtic 5.
Football.